best to be a part of the good time. So we have developed
You
that.
just fall in line. You just fall in line.
Plus, we had the best breakfast you've ever seen
Well,
for any.
well, hear me now. Speaking about that.
Yeah. That's where
the
we got our
thing.
first good reputation.
Yeah, that is where it started.
Yeah.
That's where you first
having
started.
a really good breakfast spread and making that an experience.
No, there was some misinformation. Although we start oxygen yet, we're gonna go and come right back
we're gonna
up.
come
Right,
back, yeah.
right. There was some misinformation about the band is gonna start at Grenadine's house. Correct that for me, please.
Right. No, the distribution is at Grenadine's house. So when you go and pick up your costume, there's a particular day for every section.
Right.
Right? So we started on Tuesday and we'll go up until Saturday, I think it is, right? Right. So every day, depending on what section you're in, you will have a day that you come and collect your costume. But that's you going with your box and you're going home until you meet us on cruise ship berth on Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah. Okay. That's just distribution.
All right, okay, cool. So let me start the real thing now.
Yeah.
This is up close and personal with the General Skinny Fabulous. Now, listen to me. I have never seen one flyer shared so much in my life. Everywhere. I mean, I'm sure your people, you've got your, I don't know, this flyer up to last night, I'm seeing the kind of people that were sharing the flyers, like the trends, the digital trendsetters, that's what you call them.
Right.
Yeah, they've been sharing this flyer like hell.
We're talking about this interview.
For this interview,
okay,
for this
right.
interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. The influencers.
Right.
The influencers.
Yes.
They've been chained this flyer like hell up to last. And I'm like, how did this happen? Anyway, cool. So let's go. We're gonna start and we're gonna come forward.
Yes.
Okay.
You must know Donna Clark as a music teacher.
Right.
And, sometimes it just takes one spark to start somebody's entire life's path. So Donna Clark had asked me, instead of reading my poem, I had to sing
it.
Poem. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I turned a poem that I had written into a song. So my form of expressing the poem was singing it. And that was my first taste of, I could do this.
Right.
And then that started into, on lunchtime we used to drum. I was really good at drumming with pens.
What do you mean? Like,
So yeah, with a pencil and we used to make sure pick out which desk had the better bass. Because all desks aren't created equally. Yeah. Some desks, depending on the type of number, it just give you a better bass. So every lunchtime we used to have drumming concerts, and I used to be Bounty Killer. Big up Little Terror.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Little Terror. Because Little Terror used to be.
Where is Little Terror? Is the one who
he passed
away? Yes. Yeah.
Big up Mr. Devious one time.
I know my history, you know. I don't know my little history.
Yeah. So my whole thing just started in school, and then I became like, I guess, that guy in grammar school, and then eventually I became that guy amongst the school circuits for all the school fairs and all the school queen shows. Performing.
Right.
Doing my dance all thing. Bishop Faye has something. I go up in Bishop Faye and take the mic and do my thing. So it just started little pockets of dance all.
You were also a member of a group of people with the most ridiculous name I've ever heard in my life.
Never like it.
Yeah, never like it. Cat Punk. I mean, I like the cat part of it, but the punk.
Well, not punk. It was pound. Cat pound. Yeah. So you don't give up dog pound.
I like it now. I like it. I think I like
we
it.
just impound cat.
Yeah. So you were part of that group, which include yourself, Riff Raff,
Carl Phillips. His name was
Cassie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you had Six. Orlando Foster.
Yes.
Six was
the crazy one.
He was
he was different. Let's say he was different. Let's just say he was different. Yeah. So
it was the life of the crew.
so you guys had that group.
Yeah.
And then what after that?
I mean, sometimes the life happens and people's path will take them different ways. And so we still maintain the group for as long as we possibly can. And then I ended up taking a loan actually from Teachers Credit Union. Big up Devon Scrub too. Taking a
Scrub,
loan.
yeah. Gonzalez, yes.
Encouraged me to come with him to Jamaica to try to record with some of the bigger producers. You know, and
this time it was that you just thinking dancehall.
I just thinking dancehall. So I gone against my mother's shares in credit union. I go take a little loan, and then I gone to Jamaica. I met with all the producers, and I tell myself, listen, I am going to be the next bounty killer. This is it. I reach. So at the end of the day, that all created the type of lessons that I needed to kind of be who I am. You know?
What do you mean? What kind of lessons?
Well, because at the end of the day, I went into a territory and I got through to do all the recordings I wanted, met all the people, did collabs, got the records, but it didn't translate into me being the next Beanie Man.
Or Bounty.
Or anybody in Jamaica for that matter. You understand? In fact, flash forward two decades later, I am now in Jamaica performing in stadiums for the same Jamaicans who I was trying to be a part of that culture. So sometimes it teaches you be of your own identity and people will accept you for it. Don't try to go into somebody else's thing.
But I've heard of a story where you've been such a big fan of Bounty Killer.
Yeah.
That one time you saw him in an airport.
Yeah.
In the airport.
Was done.
And you were so because you were such a big fan, you wanted an autograph.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find anything. Yeah. And you took your passport.
I gave my passport.
Yeah. Well, tell us about that story.
I met him in Barbados. He was there with his team, and I walk him through going to gate number 9, and I see Killer, and I was like, hello. I went, boom, handshaking with it. And I say handshake, I don't mean a handshake. My hand is shaking.
Your hand shaking.
Right? Go bounce him, say, I say biggest fan. And remember, he's like, yeah, man, you don't know. Hey, St. Vincent. Right? And then before I leave, I was like, nah, I need an autograph. And he's like, yeah, what you want me to sign? I have nothing. So I open my passport, the man say, oh, you want me to sign your passport? I say, yes.
Yes. That'll be a serious
right after the passport information page 2. That time the passports were green.
It was green, yeah. I mean, you were such a fan that you had.
I was such a fan. And then full circle.
Right. Now he's a fan. You should get him. You say, listen, bring your passport whenever. Next time you come, bring your passport.
So when I go to Jamaica, Bounty Killer actually does make sure he is present. He's always there.
How does he feel about you? I mean,
he has a lot of people whose influence under him, you know. So me from St. Vincent being just another person.
But a different genre.
But I think he's responsible for either influencing, helping, or motivating a lot of the younger, well at that time, generation of upcoming dancehall artists. But his thing go beyond that, because I know for sure Galen had a Bounty Killer influence. Talpree had a Bounty Killer influence. Mr. Killer had a dancehall Bounty Killer influence.
Yeah, a lot of
Maximus Dan, right? All of them come up from under that kind of lineage. Creative lineage.
Yes. All right, so there was that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went where?
After that, this is why we linked up with High Science, Great Z. Big up
Great Z, yes. He's now into photography.
And let's talk about Bing Joseph.
That when he come in the picture.
Let us talk about Bing Joseph.
It's not a good story. It's not a good story.
After I come on my dance and I say I'm going to make it somehow by doing soca music. We start to do soca music. We start to do groovy, jiggle, work out, and then I say I have to do power soca. One of my first power soca was a song called Dashin. And that time he was working at Hits. And he had a program that he used to take people's music and dash it. Right? Them time you CDs,
Yeah. Everything sound good.
I set up my CD to this man.
So you know that getting fling.
But if dash it, break it.
I said, what kind of stupidness is this? Man, and we had it bin right there. And I pulled up the microphone and I said, man, that is stupidness. Yeah. And I dash it. You know, just the other day, Steve joking and I was talking about that.
Yeah.
Yes, but just a couple days ago we were talking about that. Yeah, dash it. or flinging.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, again, these are part of the things that some of the youths know. They may never go through that type of brutal reaction. We had to go and burn cities, buy cities from Musa, figure out how to burn them, figure out how you go into all the vans them, right? Yeah. And saying, yo, play my music now. Like when you go into the schools and things, just play my CD. Yeah. But I beg van drivers to do that. No. Van drivers have access to all the music before you.
You
know what I'm saying? But back then, you sort of go in the bus terminal and wait for all the vans. And it's not guaranteed that they're going to play your music because on your CD, it's just your CD. It's just your music. So they didn't have a mix. So the van drivers weren't really willing to just take out the dance all mix to put in your super mix to then eject it. And it was a
Things have changed.
Things
have changed.
It was a fighter.
Okay. Do you remember what year these things happened?
Right, this was early 2000. This was very early 2000.
Early 2000.
Yeah, because I would have left grammar school 98, and then went to college. Just shortly after college, I started to really dive deep into the soca thing. And meet brutal people like you who let me know that I was singing stupidness.
That guy.
But then I just kept at it, man. Kept at it,
and then there was a period in which you started working. Your first job was that? Did you sell?
No, my first job was at the call center.
The call center, yes.
Where options I think is there now.
You see, you see.
And I was working there, and then I crashed my car.
Mashing up cars, yes.
And when I crashed my car, I didn't have a license at the time.
Look at this. Look at this. I mean, there are people who they said, really? All of this.
Because what happened? My mommy helped me buy a car. And I was so excited to drive the car. As soon as the car get all the things it needed, I started to drive my car. But the afternoon I was still waiting on Cintil's insurance to give me the actual paper. And them time it had a man named Gold Teeth.
Oh Lord!
Gold Teeth was the baddest
thing.
So Gold Teeth see me pulling me over, let me drive in the police station and tell me come out and walk home. And then give me a ticket. So, and then the judge didn't want, and so them take away my license.
Right.
But I still had to go to work, so I used to drive still.
Yeah,
and I crashed, and then I sit down in the jail cell for like a weekend. It was crazy.
These are crazy stories.
Yeah. I went to jail, bro. I do have a record.
Someone knows.
I do have a record, but I sat down in Calico cell for the weekend.
Just to teach you a lesson.
From Saturday in the morning to Monday midday, when my case called. Wow. And they kept me on the bench for as long as possible, but then there came the time where I think it's Buju. Is Buju or Robinson?
Buju Bailey? Bailey Buju? Okay, cool.
Or Robinson.
Because he messaged me, told me he'll be listening this morning. Yeah. So it must have been Buju.
One of them ended up feeling sorry for me, but then at some point in time, they had to send me in the cell. And that is when the first time I know prison ain't nice. Because then they was thinking in a corner was a little concrete box.
Yeah.
And I was 1.4.
And I always heard that it's hot inside of it. It's sweating.
Hot and stinking there.
Yeah.
You did a song about yourself too?
And I did a song after that. But you get to use, trust me.
You did a song about that?
Yeah, it was called Mind You Broke the Glass. I sang about the accident and how I get locked up and all that craziness.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So then eventually you got into radio.
Yeah.
What influenced that for you to get into radio?
Actually, I was on at that time there was no Hot 97 was it?
Right.
Above KFC.
Yes.
You were there too.
Yes.
And then for some reason, I don't know who gave me the job to work with.
You work at NBC.
No, before NBC.
NBC?
I was at 97 doing a night shift.
I employed.
You probably hired me to do.
Yeah. I think.
Right.
Yes.
So you hired me to do a shift with Riff Raff. Right.
Late night.
That's the only shift we could sort out.
Yeah.
And then after that, somebody had encouraged me because all your pay was nonsense. The man used to put me late at night and don't give me no money.
I mean, come on, you walking overnight. Why you taking it?
In fact, they said let me do it for free. And then...
But you're trained. Why would I pay you to train?
Yeah, and then they give me a job to sell ads. So you sort of walk up and down in the hot sun trying to sell. Yeah.
Come on.
You're a wicked guy for you.
Come on.
So I ended up trying my luck at NBC. They tell me come in for a little interview and go like a script and I'll read some death announcements. I'm thinking, And I ended up getting a job at NBC. And
However, you and I must say that you were the first ever recipient
yeah,
of the Glenn Jackson Scholarship,
Right.
which is something that you should feel proud about, because
Yeah.
I don't know if there has ever been any other since then.
because when
Tell
I
us
when I
about
was
that.
yeah, because when I was in when I was at 705, at that point in time, you know, most people might want to just say, well, boy, I want to just do radio and do it good and get my little popularity. And when I come off a radio, I go ask the girl, let me hear my shift, tune into my shift.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
Them
yeah.
time they being on the radio was a big deal. Still a big deal
Still a
now.
big deal.
But
Still a
it
big
was a
deal.
bigger deal then. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But I didn't want to stop at just doing that. So I wanted to take it to another level and do a diploma in radio. Right? And so I went to Service Commission to try to apply to see what scholarships there were.
There are a lot of people who don't know this story.
Man.
Yeah,
There were no scholarships at the time. So I went to the Prime Minister. So and then the Prime Minister created, we don't go into the thing of it, but the Prime Minister created this scholarship so I could at least, so there was an avenue for me to get to go to school in Jamaica.
Wow. What was that like when you went to Jamaica?
I was mind-opening because at least it's a culture shock too. And at that time, we weren't exposed to how different Jamaica was in terms of the scare of it.
Yeah, the culture.
Yeah. And at that time, you know, they were telling you, yo, you can't walk with your phone, you can't do this. It was a very scary place at that time. But then also, it was culturally exciting because it's a vibrant community around the campus.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an experience for me.
Okay.
So much so after I finished the diploma, I wanted to apply to UNO to do academic studies.
Okay.
And that's when I transferred from doing radio into actually doing mass communication and philosophy. That's what it is.
So a lot of people don't know because you are, I don't want to call you quite intelligent because I'm going to make you feel you're too kind of big. You're smart. You're pretty smart.
That's smart guy.
Yeah, you're a smart guy. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
Alright.
Besides, so the writing of your music,
Uh-huh.
do you write your own music?
Of course.
All or most?
Most.
Most of your
Yeah,
songs.
most. But I also understand that I have learned, because at first I used to be the guy who'd be like, nah, it has to be written by me. Right? But then I do understand the value of collaborative efforts. And I do understand the value of seeing the potential in something that's presented to me. And it might not be my style, but that is the plus. You know what I mean? That is a plus for me. So big secret, not secret, a big fun fact that a lot of persons don't realize is Wetty Beats
Yes, from
is
Union Island.
who presented Watch Thing to me.
Watch
What I'm supposed to
Thing.
do is a movie.
You should be over there now. You should be over there. You should be over there.
You understand? Yeah. One look on that chanting, one thing until it's done.
Alright.
Wetty Beats sent that to me as a whole demo that he was voicing. You know what I mean? And
Without any music in the background, just the
No, with the sample.
With the sample.
With the sample and everything, he sent the idea. And I asked what was this for? He said, I feel you should sing it. I'm like, yeah, I can track it.
And you did it.
And I did it and it was perfect. You understand? At the end of the day, and I remember telling
Pull that song.
I remember telling Wizkid this one time, right? And this is later on in life. Now I remember telling Wizkid, you have so much talent. Try to spread the how much of other people's talent you invite into your space. Don't be afraid to collaborate with that next man who's good at percussions. Don't be afraid to collaborate with other writers who might say, yo, let me try these words instead. And at first, I know his energy towards it was like, nah, man, I write my own thing. But then I think the other day he came back and he's like, you know, I understand what you mean by being open to ideas, productive ideas from people who want to actually see a better product. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, the same advice I would give to anybody, any young artist. Write your own things, but if something is in front of you that sounds good, that you can incorporate into your own style, you know what I mean? Have these big writers out there. I mean, have these big artists out there It's not about
Oh yeah,
them
oh
writing
yeah,
their
oh
own
yeah, oh
music,
yeah, oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So for me, and at that point in time, I'd already proven to myself and to the world that I could write for me, I could write for Marshall, I could write for Desh, I could write for anybody. So at that point in time, it's not about proving to yourself
So this
anymore.
is the first song which was written for you that wasn't done by yourself.
It was one of those songs it was one of the significant ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
I think that probably was the first, but I think that's the one that comes to mind.
That's the one.
This was a big one.
Yeah, it's on it. Let it go, kid. Let it go. Let's say a bit of it. Let's say a bit of it. Here we go, kid. It's a bit low there, kid. Come on. Turn me up. Turn up. It's very low. It's very low, kid. Come on.
It's like so much of them on Tuesday. My God, the girl them unruly. As I reach the bar, I meet Susie. Then she introduced me to Rudy. She showed me something to control me. If I say what I see, they might sue me. Hey, hey. One look and a chance in one thing until it's done. It's the way the girl them just do it and carry on. When they make up their face, wind back and start to perform. Make me put on me and pan me head like me just get hard. Watch this. Make me jump and sing. Watch this. Can't step on body balancing. Watch this. Whining in and out of time, me them spread out and go like cake when I sing. Watch this. When they bubble and start back it up. Watch this. Make the thing explode to me go. Watch this.
So that was Wet's Kid.
No, that was Wetty Beats.
Wetty Beats. Yeah.
Actually, that's his background vocals in the back too.
Oh, that's his background vocal.
Yeah. That's
In
Wetty
those
Beats.
days, how were these songs being done? You had to be in a studio together.
Nah, at that time we were
phones.
advanced enough for him to send
you,
and I did my vocals like Kubiachi.
right? And you sent it back to him.
Yeah, man.
Okay, all right.
We were
Cool.
that advanced at that point.
And then after that, what was the next song? Where did you go? Where did you go into the music? Your music.
So I mean, we started winning Soca Monarchs from 2008, right? So that's the song called. This is the song that launched my career. So we went back to when things started to look up for me. Things looked up for me. 2005, I had a song called "Play Smash Up." Yeah, come on. "Play Smash Up" was the song.
That was the Soca Monarch song?
That was Soca Monarch.
Hold on. Bring it, Chet. Bring it, kid. Hold on. The Soca Monarch song.
You don't have that. You don't have that.
You know, of course you have that.
Yeah.
You have everything.
"Play Smash Up."
Oh, come on. Come on. Don't embarrass me this morning.
Nah, you have that. Yeah, young DJ, you have that.
No.
Hey.
What you saying?
I came third with this one. This is one I know I could do things.
This is when it touch it, when it tastes it. This is when it tastes it. Man from country.
Heard God, mad.
Head God.
Sick. Heard God, mad. Heard God, sick. Heard God, heard God, heard God, heard God. Head God. I ain't gonna speak, man. Saying shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, B.I. Flatbush. Hey, yo, Braveheart. When I'm deal with Star. You know what I'm saying? He plays mash up. He heard God. He plays mash up.
Do you remember? Do you remember how much money you made from that?
If I remember how much money I made,
Yeah.
I remember exactly how much money I made.
How much was it?
0.
You placed third.
The money I spent
What you put
on
into
the-
it? Yeah, what you put
At
into
them
it?
time, Soca Monarch appearance fee was $500, I think.
Yeah.
And you get $250 first, and then get the next $250 after.
Right. You were always big on presentation with Soca Monarch. Always.
Right.
And that's,
So I came
let's
third then,
stop it. Right,
and then I really went in when I had a chance with Headbad, which was 2008.
Headbad. Kid I say
From
anything?
night till morning.
Kid I say
we not
anything?
even for the
Headbad. And you placed how much?
First, that's
You
it.
came first. That was
That's
the
when I win.
first. That was the first
That's
Soca
the first
Monarch
time I
one.
dethroned my brethren.
Fireman. We got to talk about that. Eh?
Yeah.
We have some.
They said the first time
This is the song.
Mash 'em up.
This is the hit. What?
Jump up, get jumping up, boom, wave it, get wave it up, boom. Jump up, get jumping up, boom, wave it, get wave it up, boom. Jump up, get jumping up, boom, wave it, get wave it up, boom. Jump up, get jump. We come to take over town. Nobody can hold me down. Remember it's carnival and grandma's all around. In the street or in the front, look how I'm soaking wet. That means they are ready. the spot, on the spot. Make we take
Okay. You have a damn good memory, eh? Do you remember what your presentation was?
I was Spartan. I came up as that time there was a popular movie called 300. So I came up as some Spartan, and I think I would have been Leonidas. And I come up there and all my warriors around me came up on this kind of throne-looking thing. It was crazy.
And this was something out of the world, right?
Yeah,
because
at that time, costuming. They weren't at that level. So this is things that we had to order and bring in, and Amazon really wasn't a big thing then. It was a thing.
Okay, so that was the first year you were at Sokomana. Now, we're getting into the thing now. There was much talk about Chinese whisper, chatter.
Yeah.
You know me, my mic is my weapon, I don't give two damns. That you are being supported by a Vincentian entrepreneur who you were in a relationship with his daughter with. His stepdaughter. His adopted daughter. Right? Your first child, mother. That you were in the relationship with her. And don't play, talking about KFC now. We're talking about, clearly gas. Right? And that you were being supported by that entity. Right. You never responded to that. And that as a result of that, that is why you were able to come with these huge different presentations that anybody could not beat.
Right.
Correct that. Is that true or is that not true?
Yeah, that's all on the music.
You want everybody here. You want everybody here. You want everybody here. Yeah.
If that, listen, I would have prayed for that, and I wish that was a prayer that God would have answered. That is not something that ever happened. And in them times too, I was not particularly really allowed to interact. Now he wasn't a fan of me.
Right.
Being friends. At that time, everybody became cool after. But at that time, it wasn't something that was encouraged, much less supported. I wasn't supported by
so you were never a benefactor of Kelly Glass money in any...
Why you put it like that?
In fact, I never even got a free piece of chicken.
You serious?
I never got
so
free
how
cable,
did you
no
finance?
cable, no KFC.
How did you finance all of these big presentations?
Loans.
You took out loans?
Let me tell you something. Big up teachers.
But you can't say you've never heard that. You've
actually never did. But
you never heard that?
I assume that was.
Kid, you've never heard that?
Nah.
That Kelly Glass money used to be spending on
presentation.
I think that's your opinion, but you just wanted to ask.
You understand?
If I tell 10 people to call, the 10 people will say that. 10 people will say that.
That sounds like a question. He had a question put up.
No.
Is the first time I hear that?
Everybody used to say
that one in your crop.
Everybody used to say Skinny Fabulous used to get money from Kelly Glass because he did Kelly Glass' daughter and and that's how he used to have a big presentation.
In them days, he was not a fan of that relationship. We grew and everybody grew.
Well, I'm happy we clarify that. Yeah. So these were all your initiatives, financing initiatives to get you. And this is a thing that you need to let the other young artists know.
Yeah.
That in terms of having big, if you want to do big presentations, that I mean the line, the zip line and all that, they say, but that's Kelly Glass money, we're doing all of that and all this kind of things.
I couldn't even get the cables for them things. Those are things that that company would have had. I couldn't get them things from local company. I had to bring in them things. I had to ship them in. So I didn't have that kind of access to say, well, I know this person, so I could go and say, hey, Mr. X, Y, and Z. Sort me to the
you ain't going to Mr. X, Y, and Z?
No.
You're going to baby mommy?
No. It ain't like that. Everybody would think that it's that kind of easy access to do, even from family perspective. It wasn't like that.
You drove it because I still spending Mitchell money. And Mitchell
see, that's you know. This is why you asked me. Because
no.
You end up with the former PM daughter and you...
I spend money.
You spend money.
Yes, you know.
IKTV.
You know what I mean?
We say IKTV.
Everything. Mitchell money. Come on.
But I can tell you this. Everything that I spent came from Miss Doyle money.
And loans.
Through credit union.
Credit union.
Yeah. She had shares And every time I done Clay alone, I'd go back and borrow against more shares. Trust me, that little one.
The way there's smoke, there's fire, because I believe there's something.
Never.
There's something.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
So that was the first.
But big up that family same way, because everybody became cool, everybody became tight, and kids just always make a difference in everybody.
Kids bring.
So me and the big up the old glass family, man. Everybody cool, everybody tight.
Yankee.
Lovely people,
Yankee,
lovely. Big up Yankee. I have a costume for Yankee too.
We're saying Yankee playing mass?
No.
All right, okay, cool. So
I gotta get off the chest.
You had to get it. So, you say you had to get it. So he's the one who had it to the crowd. He's the one who had it to the crowd. He knew why he had it to the crowd. Yeah. All right. So that was your first Soca Monarch win.
Yeah.
That opened your eyes.
Opened my eyes, and it also gave me the outside money. It was the first time I would have traveled to Canada and worked for 500 Canadian dollars too. For a man named Rich Nice. And then a man named Dr. J.
That was less than a trip to Canada, boy.
Yeah. The man flying me in for like 700 and paid me 500. It was crazy. But it was good. I needed that. I needed that opportunity. The next year I did Beast Lego win again. And then after that I did Charge Up and win again. I did 3.
Hold on. Let me go too fast. The Beast Lego, what was the concept behind that?
Man, Vinci, from ever since I started Carnival, in my generation of now going to Carnival, there was people had now started to do this riotous behavior. Before me, there was like the touch and the poser where partying was still kind of pretty. Yeah. My era of new soca coming in was the era of badness.
Yeah, you made Vinci don't party normal. That was
right. That was my style actually.
Vinci don't party normal.
Yeah. That slang came from a song I had named Scary.
Yeah.
We don't party normal.
Yeah.
We don't normal. Look at that tune. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the slogan came from that. But at the advent of like a fireman hooper, and then the me and my generation coming in, that's when parties started to become like crazy. Bigger fireman too. Used to make people do craziness too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you had Beast Lego was just a representation of what actually took place in Vinci parties. It was crazy. People just transformed.
All this time your music was produced by Kobayashi or outside?
Both. Headbad was Kobayashi. Beast Lego was from St. Lucia, Pen and Ace.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Pen and Ace in St. Lucia.
So the concept came from what you just said there.
Yeah. And again, that was also a part of what my advantage was that people didn't realize. I never got comfortable with just working with local producers. It wasn't just about Grade Z and Kobayashi. That was home base. But I was always venturing out to other islands to get a part of their carnival. That was the formula.
That was the formula that people didn't realize.
I didn't depend on my song Leaving St. Vincent. I went to other people's islands to produce on their rhythms in their carnival.
And because it was produced by them, they will make sure it's played.
Yeah. To the point where I went into St. Lucia Soca Monarch one time and come second.
You went into what? Yeah. You ever knew that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's say the Beast Lego. The Beast Lego, which was the second Soca Monarch Champions Dream. Let's go. The Beast Lego, come.
God mad at me, hey, God sick me, hey, God mad at me, hey, God sick me, hey, God mad at me, hey, God sick. Just turn.
Bounce with me.
Mash up everything, the Beast Lego. We coming to tear down everything, the Beast Lego. We coming to mash up everything, the Beast Lego. So come let we mash up.
Remember the words.
Don't cross the border. Them rebels don't have no behavior. This is a rule. Don't cross the border. We are begging don't cross the border. Them rebels don't have no behavior. How are you? Just show me around one time.
This is a rule.
Keep the bumps. I love the bumps.
And after this now was 2010.
Hold on. Fireman came what?
Not first.
Well, how did he take it? Because I know there was some
back then it was rivalry. Back then it was serious.
It was serious. Yes. And how did he take it? It was like, I ain't talking to you, me passing your street, that kind of thing.
I mean, we always...
Because there were camps.
Yeah. We always maintained...
Don't lie.
No, at least the mask, we wore a decent mask in each other's face then. But we understood that we weren't friends.
Yeah, okay.
We understood it.
Okay.
His camp and our camp, we needed to be civil. So we were always civil. But we weren't always cool.
You know, a lot of people wondered if this was being done for the marketing of...
No, man. Emotions always high in competition. Right? So you might see somebody come to ask for a glass of water from that camp. Hey, you have a glass of water? And by the time they take up a bottle of water and walk back over to the other camp, you don't start to have a conspiracy. Hey, boy, a man come and take it. And it's all in your head. It's all in your head. Competition breeds a lot of contention that unnecessary.
Right,
and it took me years to realize it not productive. And I said not productive. I don't mean the competition is not productive.
Yeah.
I mean the contention and the energy that the competition breeds is not productive.
Okay. Let's talk now about the presentation for the Beast Lego, which I remember. It's like in my
There
head.
was a bunch of skeleton with bobble heads, and I had this was the first time we used glow sticks in part 2.
Yes, that was the first time I was seeing that in the
I had
Victoria Park.
imported some glow sticks. I had to turn off all the lights in park because they weren't the foam LED sticks. LED weren't.
There wasn't a thing.
So in order to get the glow,
you had to turn off the lights.
You had to get darkness for it.
And then it showed up.
Yeah.
Like, and you threw out some into the audience and
throw some. Yeah. And then I had some suits that were made from glow sticks. It was at that time it was innovative. It was people had never seen that in St. Vincent.
Kelly Glass boy, watch where your money went. Gosh, sorry, Kelly boy. I was sorry for your boy, Kelly boy.
I know you want that company.
sorry.
You spend rich money. I get with Miss Goldman.
I am problem with it. but that was your year that you think that made people stood up and say, hey.
Yeah, because at that point this would have been me winning twice in a row. The first time could have been a fluke.
Yeah.
And the second time is like bam, he did it again.
Okay.
And then the next year was 3 times in a row.
Okay. The next year you came with what song?
Charge Up.
This is the one that took you to Trinidad.
Yeah.
This is the one that took it, in my opinion.
Right.
My opinion. And from my sources in Trinidad.
Right.
Right? Let's go, kid.
Under me rum, under me liquor, under me rum, under me liquor, yeah, under me rum, yeah, drinking up the vodka, yeah, under me rum, yeah, under me, boom, boom, boom.
Gringo, you have no idea what you're
Watch
up
me!
against, my friend. Boom!
Like a package we sell, ha, we charge up, yeah, we charge up, yeah, we charge up.
Play it again.
Under me rum, yeah, drinking up the vodka, yeah, under me rum, yeah, under me, boom, boom, boom.
Gringo, you have no idea what you're up against, my friend. Boom!
Like a package we sell, ha, we charge up, yeah, we charge up, yeah, we charge up, boom, we can't tire, because we charge up, yeah, we charge up, yeah, we charge up, so when you see me coming, you feel.
Right. Let me share a little secret here.
Yeah.
There's a thing that happens in Victoria Park that arguably only 2 artists know about.
Yourself and Fireman.
Yeah. And they might know about it, but arguably only 2 artists have ever felt it. There's something that happens in Victoria Park because of the way everything is configured, that it depends on the right moment. Sonically, if people jump, sing with the music at the same time, there's a vibration that happens in the stadium that reverberates back to the stage.
Really?
And it makes the stage vibrate and tremble.
Was it the wind coming across?
No, it's just the sudden explosion of people jumping, singing, and sound at one moment. Like, back up, Joey's. and everybody sang Charge Up and was jumping and the music was playing. That moment, it lasts about maybe 5 seconds. It happens where the stadium shakes, the stand shake, the stage is shake, the ground is shake for like about 5 seconds.
And you experienced that?
Only Fireman is the next man who know what that feels like.
Did that give you shivers? Did it throw you off?
It's crazy. You wonder what is happening. You understand? Because it's that much movement that it creates a kind of seismic activity in that specific area. It's crazy. So until some of these artists actually experience that, trust me, Victoria Park is a very special place. When you get that sudden crowd response in one unified moment, it makes the stadium.
And those days, Victoria Park was 10,
Ram.
11, 12,000 people. Ram Park. You can't, it's a standing room only
Ram.
and jumping room only.
Ram.
Yeah. And all the fires with the cans and all of that.
Ram.
Yeah. When you on that stage, I mean, this is not something that everybody would experience. And you start going, we charge up, and you look down. What's going through your mind? What's going through your head? What is
disbelief, happy, satisfaction, but also you have a kind of a scare that this means you have to deliver the rest of the performance properly. You understand? And I have a thing that's going autopilot. So when this is happening, I'm thinking about, wow, I hope the bunnies don't change. I hope the next prop in line. I singing and I still panicking about all the other things that I know has to happen. Plus I have a bunch of gerbs, and it was a little illegal them times. I had gerbs strapped on me at that time, so I was worried about the gerbs too while this was happening, because if it had accidentally go off, it would have been a thing, it would have spoiled my presentation, and in the end, it still accidentally went off. And
Jesus, and you still got that scar on your hand. The scar is right there.
Yeah. This was a 3rd-degree burn from In Charge Up. When I ran off the stage, it wasn't because it was my time to leave, it was because I was getting burnt. But I kept it a secret because I didn't want Anthony Dunny and to ban pyro after that. So I took my wound and I never went to the hospital till the next day.
Wow. And you also suffer with asthma. You're an asthmatic?
Yeah.
All those times, those things never bothered you with all the smoke and
of course. You see, my cousin here, one time we travel, before I go on stage, I had to take the puff. When I come up, I had to take the puff. Every member of my camp, friends and professional, all have inhalers.
You walk around with them.
Yeah.
You see, up close and personal, you'll never get this information nowhere else. I mean, these look, she's got it right there with her.
See?
She's got it right there with her.
Always.
Wow.
Always.
You've really, in a short space of time, in a matter of 3 years, you did all of this. Right? Were you nervous because you don't get to rehearse? We charge up with 10,000 people in the stadium. You don't get to rehearse that. But when you hit the stage and that seismic clash hit, were you nervous? I mean,
you see, as an artist, right? Say like how the mic is here. Is your superpower.
My mic is my.
It becomes your comfort zone. The panic that you have, nervousness that I have in those moments, it isn't about me. It is about all the things that I know need to happen. And I'm worrying about if they're going to happen how I wanted them to happen. But it's not about me performing and singing. I could go on full autopilot. I know I will deliver what I need to do in that 8 minutes. So any nerve that I have is because I hope the fireworks go off at this point.
That's what you're thinking about.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Now this was the year. This was the song that took you to Trinidad. Right. Correct?
Well, arguably, but no. Headball at that time was my first.
Yeah, but this was the real.
But this was cementing me as a force from St. Vincent.
When you got to Trinidad, they had already known of the song.
Of course.
Right. What was that feeling like? Because you
back then, people considered, and this is no slighting to Trinidad, but back then people considered like the platform, the catapult, the springboard, the Mecca. That when you reach Trinidad with your song, you reach. So in those days, to be played on Trinity radio stations and get bookings, it was a big deal. It was a big deal to even be invited to Trinidad to perform. So that was your first taste of regional superstardom, so
Yeah,
to speak.
yeah, yeah.
And then what was happening is that Trinidad was known for taking you 1 year and spitting you back out the next year. Right? And lucky for me, it never happened.
You never had that experience?
No, I never got spat out. To this day, they never spit me out.
Do you think it's because of your personality? Because you've got
Well, yeah, I know how to network.
Yeah.
I know how to conduct sensible
Yeah.
interviews and
Yeah.
interactions, and I know how to work the media circuit. So I was always able to maintain certain levels of respect and networking with just all the aspects of
Work
it.
in the media network, how important is that? I know, but I want the young artists who are listening, Vincentian artists who are listening here and abroad, to hear from you. How important is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the prevalence of it is a little different now.
No,
So now we
right.
have the social media,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even now, it still rings true. Back in my time, and as again, it applies still now. How you present yourself in front of a microphone when you're not singing is equally important as how you sound when you are singing.
Right.
Right? So
right.
you ever heard an artist and when they on the stage you're like, boy, I like his style.
Yeah,
I love his energy. And then somebody puts a mic in front of him to ask him a few questions and he's like, like some of your respect might get dropped, some of your admiration might dip because they don't realize it's important how you present yourself off stage as well. On camera, on mic. So it's just a little media training.
You did that. You had.
Well, I did media training, so then.
Well, yeah, you did that
eventually.
right. Okay. When you say after, what do you mean?
I mean, I went to school.
Not
2000
not in
by
Jamaica.
2010. Yeah,
Not
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
At Carrimack.
Yeah, at Carrimack.
You went to Carrimack.
And then
right.
to uni. Right?
And then to uni.
But by then I was able to kind of capitalize on the studies that I had done at that time and understand how to position yourself from the mic, how to enunciate expression.
And that is something I always tell people how you use your mic is one of the most important thing you can do in making a presentation. Whether you're singing, you're talking, how you use your mic is very important. You know, that's something that I've been taught. You know?
So you see, you and I in this room, we're talking, right?
Right.
And when I wanted to make an important point, I understood that the music is
was a bit,
distract. So I needed you to turn it down. So I don't have to shout. I now could come close and say, yo, Bing, listen to me. And just me talking like that grabs your attention because now he's talking soft, but I could hear him.
And the importance of things like pauses.
Pauses.
I mean, come on.
Back in the day, Ralph was a man. He's a specialist on pauses. Now you just overdo it now.
Still.
Yeah, but he paused a little long now. It's too long now.
And people don't think that he pauses because he forgets something. You know, pauses are important.
That's the correct way.
Yes.
It's important.
Obama is very good at pauses too.
Yeah.
Right? I notice what he did. He did it as well, just now, but you don't pick it. And he's so good at it that he don't even sometimes know that he's doing it.
For sure.
You know, pauses are very important in getting your point across.
Yeah, don't rush the point. Take your time.
Take your time. Yeah.
That's
All
it,
these
that's
things.
true.
So you did.
Yeah. So I understood how to do that. So I always left an impression for any media house that I touched, and I was always invited back, and it was always a pleasant experience as a young artist. So I was able to infiltrate Barbados. To this day, every crop over I am had. Every single crop over.
You in Barbados?
On Kadumende, in Soka on the Hill, in Ride, in Tipsy. I am there every year for the last 15 years.
But you know, Skinny, you know, for these young artists, they may be saying, Jesus Lord, boy, this is a lot. Because it's not just one thing that makes you be a Skinny Fabulous success or another success artist.
Right.
We talked about how you use your mic, how you move on stage, your songs, and all of these things. How would you transcend that to the younger artists to make them understand all of this?
It's just you just have to be open to learning and improving craft. Sometimes when you get a big song, and I see it happen to a lot of artists now, the younger ones, right? You get a big song in the season, and everybody in town saying, yeah, boy, you're bad.
That's what we want. Yeah.
And then you get comfortable in the fact that you had a good year last year, not realizing that the next year is not going to be that kind to you because people didn't like and respect you as an artist that they believe in. They like the song that you sang this year, and so they will give you all the props this year. And when you come next year, they're asking you what song you sing.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you, it was about the song. So every artist needs to build themselves as the product and not the song.
Come on. Find it quickly. You know my DJ now. You know my DJ. Yes, man. Find it quickly.
That's just it. Work on self. Work on self as well as product.
Let me tell you,
are also
I
the product.
always preach branding. You gotta establish your brand and work on it.
Yeah.
It is one of the most important thing you do, right? Another thing is when you go on stage.
Yeah.
Like, even though you didn't come here to be on stage this morning, but look at how you look. One look at you and you can tell, okay, this is an international artist.
Yeah. You look at it.
You know what I mean? You look at it, yeah.
Something happened with it.
Yeah. How do you do that?
And sometimes it's an all right. There are times that I go through an immigration in a country that they don't know me. And people just literally ask me, are you a musician?
Yes.
And sometimes it has nothing to do with the jewelry. Jewelry or not.
No.
Even without the jewelry.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a thing. You just have to have that energy that says, I am confident, I am talented, I am special. When I walk through your immigration, you saying, who is this guy? You know him? He's somebody, right?
You look the part.
I look the part.
You gotta look the part.
And again, it's not about jewelry. It's just about
No.
just you put together.
No.
Your swag. You have to just have it.
Yeah, confidence.
Your confidence. The way you walk, the way you do things must represent this guy is somebody. I get it all the time. I'd sit down on a plane next to a European cork, anybody, and they would say, what are you doing? And I'm like, what gave it away? I don't know. Nothing.
Yeah. And this is something that you would have learned. Nobody taught you this.
No, you just have to be open. You always have to just watch as you grow and learn as you grow. You have to be open to just adopting new things. You know, don't get comfortable. I always hungry now. Every year, I always treat myself as if I just trying to bust. I don't feel entitled at any point in time. And in fact, in the music world, people would think I have it easy, but I have it hard. I have it harder than most.
How
because,
so?
Because it's almost as if I get judged harder than others. Because it's like
You're as good as your last.
Right. Yeah. That's when you come
away.
with this.
Yeah.
Because they always comparing it to the last. They always comparing it. When a young artist come out, there's no track record for them to be compared to. Right? But when you reach at this level where you have this amount of recognition for a catalog of songs, the expectation of you is a lot higher. And so you don't have to be good. You have to be great. Good don't cut it at this level. It has to be great. Mediocre don't cut it.
All right, let's take a commercial break. We're going to take a commercial break. We come right back. We got the general inside and the WhatsApp and the Facebook Live and my phone and everything going crazy. A lot of people, I can read some of these responses to you. It will take too much time, but we're going good this morning. We've got the general inside with us this morning. And you're giving a lot of his trade secrets. You may regret it.
It's
about sharing.
It's necessary secrets, man.
Necessary
Necessary
secret?
secrets.
Not me. Me ain't telling nobody how I doing my thing.
But you don't tell you use Michi money.
Yeah, but but not everybody have Michi money. I have access to Michi money. All the truth. My son name's James Michelina. And he's the only boy in the family. So they could stop there. Alright, let's go. Let's take a quick commercial break and come right back. This is OMG in the morning. We got the general in studio with us. Here we go. Take me away. Whoa.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Let's go!
Boom 1069, the sound setter of radio.
Don't got no money back calling me splurge. Watch me jump right off the curb.
New year, different lane.
We gon' spin and kill everybody. And we're telling all. Bend that over. Let that breathe. Shake that.
Boom 1069.
Hands on your knees.
Unleash the sound revolution now on Boom 1069.
You're watching IKTV, channel 112. It's all about you.
Can you not have an orgasm for that?
For 40 years, we've refined the rhythm of beer, mastering the balance of bold and smooth, crafting flavors that echo through SVG. Between the limes and the laughter, we've carried our expertise across the Caribbean, one brew at a time, perfecting the process, deepening the craft, learning what makes beer not just tasted, but felt. And now, with all that we've learned, we bring you what's next. The next wave of refreshment, the next chapter in our story, the next taste to define a generation, not just another drink. This is the extension of who we are, the next experience, the next icon, imagined and brewed right here at home. It's not just what's next for us, it's what's next for you. It's what's beyond expectations. Own it, define it, make your mark. Hyrule next. This is the extension of passion, of possibility. Hyrule next. The future of beer. Made in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the hands that have mastered the craft for 40 years.
This isn't just a run. With each step begins a new journey. A journey of determination, persistence, and self-discovery. With each step, I embark on a quest to push myself beyond expectations, beyond standards. Each stretch, a reminder of the flexibility of the human spirit. With each step, I am breaking barriers. As I push to the finish, I'm filled with pride. Not just for what I've achieved today, but for the journey that has brought me here. This isn't just a run. It's a testament to the human spirit, and I am here for it. Island Sips. Beyond standards, beyond expectations, beyond water.
Meet Mom. She's not just the wake up at the crack of dawn, make breakfast and pack bags kind of mom. She also gets her fitness game on. Yeah, she's the don't let anyone forget anything kind of mom. At the same time, she's the runs her own business, closing deals kind of mom, who finds time to get down and boogie with the kids after school, remodel the house, bake cake, host dinner, and even play her favorite game at the end of the day kind of mom. So let's celebrate Mom, because to us, she's so much more.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. "85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
You're watching IKTV, channel 112. It's all about you.
Hello. Someone is asking, our young artists need some help, Skinny. They need to have the talent that needs to be harnessed. Help them out, Skinny. What do you respond to that?
Well, I mean, we handed out some gems of advice this morning.
You can't be for those.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just listen. And you know what? Important is team, not yes men team. Team of people who are...
Who will be able to criticize you and tell you, listen,
tell you
that making sense.
And don't go on stage like that. Like Bridget was saying, you know, come into an interview in your slippers and you didn't clean your foot. Just the simple stripping is that you think that nobody should have to tell you. But if you have good people around you, they tell you, they'll be able to tell you, yo, that way you're doing, that's not good. Look, that don't sound good. Don't drink that amount of sunset before you do this. You know what I mean? Just need to take a professional approach to it. Because how you present is how people will take you. You know what I'm saying?
And you let's focus in a bit on zeroing a bit on stage, getting on stage.
Yeah.
I've looked at some of these country events on social media, and the way these artists go on stage, it's like if they come, they are in front. It's like if they what is it? Is it that they don't have the proper management, financing, and all of those to help you with.
But again, it's not even sometimes about finances could be an issue if it is that you want to be on brand name, you want to be Gucci this, but it ain't about brand name. It's just about having. It's like when you go to court, right? When you go to court, you make sure you present yourself properly.
You shut in your pants
and you comb your hair and you because you want the judge to have a favorable impression of who you are and what your character is, right?
Right.
It's the same thing on stage, man. You want people to be like, yo, I like how he does. I'd spend my money to see him again. You know what I mean?
And this thing about, which I've noticed also within the last couple of weeks, is an artist will go on stage and he have like 10 people in the audience, in a group, jumping up with a flag and big and can and thing, and the rest of the crowd is down there looking like, right, what are you really doing? How do you deal with that?
I mean, at the end of the day, people support they have their supporters. It's not something I could really criticize. You know what I mean? If a man come from Largo Heights and his neighbors say, nah, we're coming to support you, all better. You know what I mean? In fact, I would now criticize the other people them who don't want to jump up. I don't like to see people in parties. You pay your money to party. Yeah. Party.
But there must be a reason why they're not jumping up and perform.
I mean, sometimes they're not amused.
It's not
sometimes
connected.
they're not right.
It's
Sometimes
not connected.
it doesn't connect. But I feel like at the end of the day, patrons also have a responsibility to show love, because it takes a lot for an artist to muster up the confidence, and we never know what men going through out here, and they're still trying to go up there and make $1 or sometimes make no dollars. They're just trying to make a name for themselves. So at the end of the day, the least you could do is just don't be mean, be encouraging.
Support.
You know what I mean? Give them a little whatever. If they ask you for a little hand, give them a little something at the end of the day.
What has music and this craft done for you?
Me?
Not just financially, because I know you do it well.
You know I do?
I know you could drop something in the kitchen this morning. I know you do it. But what has it done for you psychologically, emotionally, in terms of your maturity?
My whole life is music and all the derivatives of music. All right, so I've branched off into doing events, branched off into doing mass, business, restaurant. All that is part of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And it's because, again, I made the decision that this is how I'm going to make a living, and this is going to be my life. There's no multi-managing your ambitions. If your ambition is to be a carpenter, and youth, this is not just about music. If your ambition is to be a carpenter, don't be showing up to work with a regular handsaw. When you make your first couple fortnights, invest in a power saw.
A better one.
And then when you're done with that, invest in the one that is cut at an angle. Invest in tools, because you have to be the best carpenter from your house. The best carpenter from your village, the best carpenter in your area. You have to seek improvement always. And then this goes to music, but it goes for even, bro, the labor force.
Hold on.
The labor force in St. Vincent suffers the same problem, you know. The laborers don't want to upgrade to be masons. The masons don't want to upgrade to be contractors, or they want to do it in the laziest of ways. They don't want to upgrade.
They don't want to put any work.
And invest in new methods. It's the same thing, and I'm pretty sure maybe farming goes through the same thing. You have to have new ways of doing irrigation, new ways of planting.
Another thing that I
upgrade, man.
You gotta think in a way that will not keep you below a particular standard.
Precise.
You gotta always, think about raising the bar. Good morning, caller. Sorry for having you wait. Good morning. You're live with the General.
Good morning. I've seen Skinny performing St. Vincent, Trinidad, St. Kitts, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Miami, and on a truck.
I'm a big fan.
Caribana. Well, no, I go places and you happen to be there, not on time. So, last Monday, the 24th of February, Queen's Park Oval, Monday Madness, you performed last, which was kind of unusual to see that. Normally Marshall will perform last. And after 3 in the morning, you go in there and a lot of people already left. I felt kind of bad there, you know. I said, more people should be around because it's so late, people want to go home. But normally Marshall performed last. What happened there? Why Marshall? Are you able to say why Marshall didn't perform last?
I call a listener for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, cool. So listen, at the end of the day, right? You know, some artists when they see a running order or they want to see the running order. In my field and my level, I don't business about where in the show I am. You understand? I'm not one to say no, don't put me after here, don't put me before there or whatever. But in this case here though, it was a case where we had several shows happening.
Oh, okay. So you had
logistic. When I reach is when I suppose when I could come. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's never a fear of who performs before me and who performs after me. I come to do my job. You know what I'm saying? So if it is that by the time I get to the venue, the party done and it had half the people done gone, I came to deliver my performance and the best version of my performance I could possibly get. And I remember the show he's talking about. For the persons who were there was the level shillings. Marshall ended up staying there to come back on stage, enjoy the performance same which way. You know what I mean? But these are the things that don't bother and shouldn't bother you as an artist. Do your thing. Don't worry about who come after you, who come before you. Do your thing. Do you.
Listen, okay, so I have been to Trinidad Carnival a number of years because I've got a very, 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 and he's listening right now. Good friend, I'm sure you know him, Cliff Harris in Trinidad. You know Cliff? You know Cliff Harris, sure. Yeah? Big promoter in Trinidad. So I go to Trinidad through Cliff as well too. And I know because of Cliff in particular, the amount of events he does. He does a lot of events, right? And people like yourself and others, other promoters, they do a number of events all in the same night. How do you move from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 events
in one night?
How do you do that?
You travel with your honey and your lime, right? And you drink as much water as possible. But then also, this is something that we sign up for, right? This type of booking or demand is never something that you should complain about, because if you're home in your bed looking at others doing it,
making the money. Playing don't make money on the go.
Right, exactly. So when you finally get the opportunity to do multiple shows, the kind of enthusiasm that you have, it allows and fuels you to be able to do the amount that you have.
We're gonna get back to it. Caller, good morning. You're live with the General.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, my brother. How are you?
Yeah. Well, I was glad to hear the General.
Yeah, man.
But one of these persons, one of the entertainers who I think don't get enough respect, really big up, is Wetty Beat. I must say congratulations to Wetty Beat. And I think Wetty Beat is the next Skinny Fabulous.
Right. Enough respect to you, man. Respect.
Yeah, man. And you take care, man. Yeah. Congratulations to Skinny anyhow, man.
Yeah, man. You don't know.
I'm big fan of him since he's one.
We all feel proud. We all feel proud whenever we hear Skinny name, and he's everywhere. Okay, let's hold on the course. Let's hold on the course a bit, because I want to get through I want him to do. Now, you said you need your honey, you need your this, you need your that. In the day, you rest.
Right.
You rest.
But for me, what happens to me is not something that I'll advise. So,
what do you mean?
Meaning I get fidgety. I always need
to
be doing.
Adrenaline is always going.
Yeah, I always need to be doing something. So even if it's not music, I always need to be working on something.
Okay, all right.
Pretty restless when it comes to that. So I don't get enough sleep.
Okay. You're considered not just an artist, a regular artist, but an artist at or maybe the scale of Marshall Montano in Trinidad, because you've done work with him, you've wrote for him, you've performed with him, you've come up with concepts for him, you've done collaborations with him, and all of that, right? Do you feel threatened with regards to your security in Trinidad when you get to Trinidad for Carnival?
And I'll say this, right? Maybe a positive way for me to take that question. It's a question or versions of that question. It has been posed to me already. But a positive way to let me think about that question is that there is a flattery involved with the comparison. When you compare me to the Marshalls or whoever else, right? But again, I don't even see it as a comparison because he has his amount of years. He put in his work as a kid, as a child coming up. So whatever accolades he has, there is nobody that even should compare to that. In the same which way, there are artists that are coming up now who their interest shouldn't be how they compare to me. I am me. My journey took me where it took me. Marshall's journey took him where it took him. Fortunately for me, I've been blessed to be in the same circle, on the same shows, in the same category of headliners as. So that's a blessing for me. And even when I get around guys who are older than I am, who make more money than I do, my job at that point in time is not to see how much I size up to you. My job is to be like, yeah, this is how you do that. That's cool. I don't do it that way, but maybe I could learn from how that worked for you. Maybe that could, or I can maintain my identity while still adopting things and still just trying to learn, or asking questions. Up to yesterday, I pick up my phone and ask, there was this time that you did this. Like, how is it that you got that done? You know what I mean? What was the mechanics behind getting that? And these are the things that some artists, they don't like to do it because there's ego involved, there's arrogance involved. You don't want to be the person who's saying, I want your advice. No, man. Ego is a killer of productivity at the end of the day.
Do you have security while you're in Trinidad?
Yes, 100%.
Why?
It's Trinidad.
What kind of security?
I do free security.
When you land, as soon as you land.
Well, as soon as I land, I get security to go where I'm going. And then every time I step out professionally to do a show or an interview, I do security.
When you say free security, what does that mean?
Free? Not free.
Oh, it's three security.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, and they
but only because at that point, I don't want to be concerned about.
Yeah.
I don't want to be worried. I don't want to do that. I want to walk freely.
Explore yourself.
Whatever. I don't want to be thinking about that.
You must be thinking about stage.
So when I go to the stage and I'm backstage, I don't want to be thinking about if this guy had a problem and he wants to run up and have just. I don't want to be thinking of that. Plus, your schedule is public. Where you're going is public. Where you're coming from is public. You never know who's looking and whatever. So it's just a peace of mind.
I've been in Trinidad as part of a caravan where the police outriders providing security for the team. That kind of thing happens to you as well too.
Of course, but that's
to move from one to the next.
Yeah, because traffic in Trinidad is a crazy
terrible.
So it depends on the distance between events. You'll get outriders. Just to make sure you're able to go from one show to the other.
Get it in time and all that. Wow. What does that do to you? What does that do to when you look at these things? You say, boy, that little boy come from Rosal or not Leeward, you know what I mean? How does that make you feel?
At first, it's something that is mind-blowing because you're in the back of an SUV and you're seeing sirens and it's like, this is for me. Right? Or sometimes you land in a country and just the greeting and it's a thing that lets you know that the years that you've put in, it's paying off. Right? And you never really get accustomed to it, but then you become comfortable with the idea that this is who you are now, and this is how people see you. So you just embrace it and you go with it.
And for country, how does it make you feel knowing that, listen, for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, people associate me with St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Sure. I always considered myself a walking billboard, right? Because at the end of the day, one of the questions that people would always ask is, where are you from? And then I love when they think I'm from Trinidad.
Jamaica or Trinidad.
Yeah, Jamaica, Trinidad. I love being able to correct them. But eventually, just the idea that, oh, wow, you're from St. Vincent. I've never been to Vincy Mas. And then the question becomes, well, when can I go? When should I go? You know what I mean? So it's always this subtle marketing in just any one of us as artists. When we out there, indirectly, it promotes people to come to St. Vincent.
Wow.
It's just a thing that happens. Wow. It's a 1-1 effect, but 1-1 effect just for the basket.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden, just let's say, sure, it's a problem child out there, he doesn't show and they say, wait, he from St. Vincent? When is Vincent Mass Carnival again? It's a ripple effect that That translates.
All right, the calls are killing me. Good morning, caller. I know you guys are killing me. Good morning. You're live with the general.
Morning, Red Bad Man.
Morning, thank you. You're talking to the general, though, not the bad man.
Well, it's got to be the general. You know what I'm saying?
Like you've been practicing now all night last night, boy.
Well, Bing.
Yes, sir.
I ain't practice this, you know. I know this is something Skinny Fabulous just dropped down his first me song. And Skinny Fabulous, that Skinny Fabulous slang right through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was my original song.
Yeah. I tell you Skinny from day one, man. So me practice this now.
Right.
Yes, man. This is even before Skinny you had the Lions banner.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yes, man.
It could be, actually, yeah. You remember that?
Women with Karen Veil and them. Which means Danny.
Yes, Danny.
Man, come on, man. So they made me come out to Skinny, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. So Skinny big up, man.
Thank you very much. It's good to hear that. To listen off it. Thank you very much, caller. Yeah. So let's go back to some more now. All right. How many Soca Monarchs have you won in total in Tinville? Because we can't go through all of them. 6.
6 power, 1 groovy. So 7.
You won a groovy?
Yeah.
With what?
This island is mine. From the mountains.
Kid. You won?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. You know what? I don't even because of the biography that I have. I don't know, but everywhere I go, they always say 5 times Soca Monarch. It was really 6. Yeah,
This song
it was
is
3. It was a 2 hatchet.
This song is a very patriotic
For sure.
song. Don't let it go yet. Hold it right there. Don't let it go yet. What made you? Well, first of all, I'm assuming that you wrote this song, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What made you write this song? What triggered this song?
Well, you see, this was now after realizing what my success was meaning to not just me and my own financial freedom, success, reputation, but this is when I realized, nah, boy, I have a responsibility not just to promote St. Vincent to others, but to embrace what it means to be Vincy in St. Vincent. And so I said to Alex, I need to somehow do an anthem type song about St. Vincent. So we started to play around with there's a Charlie Chaplin sample in here that was that we used, and then Rodney also wanted to do a song. He wanted for us to collaborate on something, and I said this could be it. That's why it's Rodney who's playing.
So
the
he's
pan
playing
there.
the live pan.
Yeah, we have to bring in Rodney to play pan. Because again, we wanted to make it everything, all things Vincy.
Right.
And yeah, it was almost like every independence would hear
Every
vibrating
independence.
cakes at that
And
time.
then you hear this too, you hear this too.
All right. Beckett had
Beckett
one
had
too.
one.
but
It was that time.
Beckett as much.
It was that time for me to say, man, let's try to get something that updates what we sing on independence or what we relate to in this generation as a national nation building song.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question I recently asked Problem Child, who I recently interviewed. How do you write your song? Do you sit down with a paper, your computer, your MacBook, or your phone? And this particular song, this one in particular.
All right.
How did you write this song?
This one in particular, well, for me, everybody has their methods, but I do hook first, right? So I do, this island is mine.
So you start humming, kind of.
This island is mine. That's where we start, all right? And after I figure out, okay, this is what I want the chorus to be. This is what I want people to chant. Then for this one in particular, I sat down and thought about the words, because I didn't want to just sing about like rum or drinking or whatever. I really needed it to be about the beauty of the people, about the sun, about
to emotionally connect with.
Yeah. So I didn't want to just sing anything, because normally as a man will go in the studio and write the song in the studio on point, right? So like charge up on all them things. This is Alex playing the rhythm, and I say, yo, this bad, and that it just happens, and I go in. I don't have any verse. I go in the booth, and he press play, and I just sing. I'm say, all right, keep that. Then we'll go again. Okay, keep this next line. this island in mind wasn't done. I actually sat with a pen.
This meant a lot to you.
Yeah. I wanted it to be words with intention. So I didn't just freestyle this one.
Let's hear it.
So many places in the world. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home. Hey. So many places in the world, so many beautiful things to see, but none of it compares to home. I'm from paradise, SVG, so from the hills to the mountains, high, high, high. Every man, every woman, every child. If you're proud to be Vincy, put your hands up high and let me hear you say, this island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say, this island is mine.
Somebody just messaged me saying, hearing this song and hearing, let me read it. Hearing this song and hearing Skinny's explanation of how this song came about brought tears to my eyes. No, I'm not bawling. It just made my eyes water. How do you feel? How do you feel when you hear that?
That means mission
accomplished.
Yeah, because it's about feeling so much pride for country. It gives you joy to the point where you could get tearful. But it's something that every country needs, especially Vincy, because sometimes we like to compare ourselves to others, thinking, and we have a bad habit of saying, look at Grenada, how their roads good. Look at Barbados, how them doing. We in St. Vincent, we the worst. Nah, because in Barbados, them saying the same thing, them saying,
but look at St. Vincent.
The Bajans don't know what to do. Look at them people in St. Vincent, them getting on good. Stop putting down yourself. Every country has their challenges. Every country has their bad road. The bad thing, this war fix, this, that, this bridge could do better, whatever. Every country has their little issues. But we as Vincentians always need to put country and pride first. Because we live in paradise. Wow. You know what I mean? The best vacation I ever had in my whole life. And I went, again, this song was written after I had tasted success and traveled. So I really did travel a lot of places. And still, I never had a better vacation than when I went with, her name is Hai. It's Fireman Hooper's sister, actually. I chartered a catamaran for $400. Back then you couldn't do that, right?
It's not that
$400, and I paid Hai Hooper, right, to carry me down in the Grenadines just to do the little island hopping thing, bro. That was the best vacation I ever had in my whole life.
It's a serious endorsement for the marketing department.
But I'm telling you, I've never seen it. And you know what? A lot of Vincies don't even know.
We don't know what we've got.
Nah.
We don't
It's
know.
our Vincentians who've never been to half of the things that we have as a product for tourism. And if they could only experience it, they would know the gem and the paradise that we actually live in right now.
All right, let's go. Next question. Let's move on quickly.
Yeah.
Black Rave. You talk about you went into you not only a successful artist, you are a businessman, you're a promoter, and all of that. Let's start with Black Rave. Mm-hmm. What happened with Black Rave?
Why is it no more?
Yeah.
Okay. So Black Rave, my favorite color is
black.
Always in it. You know, as I grew, you know, people tell me, oh God, wear some colors. Still, it's just my color.
It's a bounty thing.
Yes, a bounty thing.
It's a bounty thing.
Black is just a thing. So anyways, because this was my debut event, I wanted it to be about things that I like. So I wanted it to be everybody who had to wear what I like to wear, which is black. And I wanted it to be a rave, which was the glow sticks. And it was an artist-driven show. And for the duration of it, it was really good. But to put off concerts in St. Vincent where it is just about artists and you're flying in this one and you want 20 local artists and you want to pay everybody, it is look good, But when you go home,
skinny,
and you open your
skinny,
account, you realize,
skinny.
partner.
People is always ask me all the time, what I'm doing fire fed? I say, come now, I give it, you say, you do it, I go help you, you do it. You finance it, I go help you get it, I go help you, I go give it.
It's rough.
It's not easy.
People will see 4,000-5,000 people in that
and
park
think that,
and say, yeah, boy, skinny make real money.
It's not.
It's expensive. It's expensive to host the rehearsals. It's expensive to pay 20 artists plus flying whoever you're flying in, plus pay power, plus pay venue.
You're paying $25,000 before you make $1 to CDC.
Plus police just want to tell you how much.
Police don't ask you. They tell you, we are giving you 45 police officers.
And you need to pay them this amount of money.
Yeah.
And you don't have a say.
That's how it is.
And then after that, VAT is telling you, well, I want 16% of your money. Not after you don't pay your bills. Before you pay your bills, the VAT man say, I want 16%. I don't care that you didn't make any money. 16% of it is mine. It's rough.
Do you think now the events are now different?
Yeah.
It's no longer Victoria Park thing. It's now smaller, all inclusive. I saw an event the other day for VIP ticket for $2,000.
Wow.
Right? The shift now. Do you think it's more successful? What is causing the shift? What is happening there? Because I know you're involved.
Yeah, man. It's just the evolution of people and how they choose to party and the type of
taste,
the type of leisure and entertainment they want for themselves. That is why. Simultaneous to the development you were talking about, there is the demise of club culture in St. Vincent and in the Caribbean, right? There are no clubs in the Caribbean that operate successfully because people no longer get up on a Friday night and saying, I'm going to the club.
Yes.
People now go to an event that is outdoor.
A team event is most likely.
A themed event. They want to dress a particular way. They want to stand up in front of a photo wall.
Yeah.
There is no longer the appeal of standing up in a club of a corner, having a good time, sweaty.
Yeah.
When you go in a club, you're sweating in a corner, jamming. That is not what we came here for. No, now they want to make sure they get the Instagram picture.
And now when I say they got picture and the special fan and it is.
And they're coming out all hours late.
Club and pictures don't work.
But is this working? Is this method working?
It's the evolution. You have to. As a promoter, this is where you kind of have to go because this is what the culture or the party culture has developed or evolved to be. And that now includes less live performances with artists. Back in the day, you had Soca Swing, you had this one, you had that one, you had a whole set of events that were built around people coming to perform and sing. Now, the events are built around themes, decor, and DJs. You know what I mean?
And, but spinning on from that is that you've got the merchants who making an online too because they dress nice. The ladies they dress nice. They go to the hair salon. They get their hair done. They have their special makeup artists coming. They pay to get that. So it spreads now. It spreads.
But here's the dark side. Here's the dark side to what carnival and what parties have become. Young artists back in the day may have had at least 5 opportunities to sing at a concert somewhere. Whether or not it's paid or free, they had opportunities to sing. There were shows that were geared around artists coming on stage and singing. Now,
different.
They don't have that. Some of these artists with tunes, they will go to the parties and hear it whole night, but they themselves, they're not on the cast. There is no artist on the show, right? And that's a little bit sad. So it's even competition coming up, there are artists who are in that competition who barely had a chance to perform their song live and test out what works for them and what doesn't work for them. Because Carnival is no longer about live performances as much. The only live performances now you see is from the more established artists or the people that with very big tunes. But if you just have a tune that you're trying to build, and nice people like it, but it's not the biggest, you don't really get a chance to come on a stage. So it's a difficult time for young artists now. Or it's easier for them to market. It comes with the pros and cons. Because back in my day, I run it down a van to get them a CD.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now
People don't know about that.
Exactly. Now them use staying in their house, go on Instagram, TikTok, do the thing, blah, 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 and they getting through. But at the same time, they're not getting the opportunity to have a mic and a stage and work and connect on the ground and
walk
build
yourself.
They're not getting a chance to build their craft in the same way. And that's why sometimes there are people with big songs and then they can't really deliver it. They don't have enough practice. Because there aren't any shows that give them practice like that anymore.
That's true.
Sad.
That's true.
Sad. Back in Sid Murphy them days when all he used to do Guinness Power Jams and all
Soca Train and all
Soca Train and all them things there. It had plenty places. Men used to just run up on stage and do it. You can't run up in a brunch and soca right now. No. You run up in a
That's true.
You know what I mean? You can't just run up in Wet Republic and just do it. It's not that kind of party.
And these days, you don't even have a band. You don't even need a band anymore now. You just have a DJ, you know what I mean? And that's how you go. Let's go. Sorry, calls. We're not taking any more calls. We're not taking your calls right now. We want to focus. We want to try and squeeze as much as we can out of it now. Yeah. So you've done that. You've done events.
Plus.
You've done. Yeah. Don't fight with me at that. We've done events. We've done that. You also decided to get into business. You've done a number of businesses.
Right.
You've done Uncle Skinny.
Which then went into Playtime.
You've moved. You went into Summer Rose.
Right.
Yes. What's going on with it?
Again, Uncle Skinny, that is very time consuming, but that was a really big game changer for St. Vincent too.
Big.
Right?
Big.
And
I feel you used to go home and lie down on the money and jump up on the bed in the money. And then it used to make so much money.
Nah, you see, you're doing it. You're not you know better. I'll tell you this. Uncle Skinny was lucrative if my vision for it was just one level. But what happened every time I ended up making money on Uncle Skinny, I would spend it back. I want a bigger slide.
I
want this thing. I want to make this shirt have more things. So you keep reinvesting in it, and it's just a revolving door that it becomes unproductive a while because you need more things every year to keep them coming. So you keep taking your profit and spending it back into the event. You know what I mean? And then after a while, Skinny Fabulous as a product, he became his own business that needed attention. So to have Uncle Skinny as a product and Skinny Fabulous as a next product, he took care of
the store.
Well, those things could have gone on autopilot, but the kids fair was something.
And Summer Rose. Why did you go in that direction?
The opportunity came, and it's something I always wanted, an entertainment space. And so, again, these are things that require a very personal.
You have to
be involved, right? And so, Summer Rose as a restaurant still functions on the weekend, but now we have evolved into being a event space. In fact,
brunch kind of.
I could safely say it, and some people might not want to acknowledge it, but the trendiness of brunches started at Summer Rose. Right, and then after that, everybody started to do because we made it a thing. You know what I mean? So up to now, Sundays people still come and do brunches at Summer Rose. We still do brunches all the time, but now brunches is now a big thing in small pockets.
When do you find time to come up with these things? Because my issue is that I don't sleep well because my mind, I'm always thinking of solutions, problems, because when you have problems, you have to think about solutions. I'm always thinking of solutions to problems, and then I would think, okay, then it's now time for me to switch off of the solutions to the problems and time to move to get new things and execute new things and come with initiatives and all of that. Is it the same with you?
For sure, and that's part of the blessing, is part of the curse with me too, in that. Like, I always want a problem to solve, or I always want something, a task to do. And so people around me always want me to just chill, take a vacation, and I just don't know how to do that. Because I know a part of my success story is because I never rested. I wanted to be better.
You're always on the move.
Ting. That's the reason why all them businesses you call out exist, because I want what is next. What can I do in between this time? Right? And that's why you have the advent of these things. And now we're doing events outside of St. Vincent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're all in Dubai and all these kind of things now.
Exactly. Wow. And it's always about partnerships. So you have brunch and soca.
Yeah.
I'm a part of the brunch and soca team for Trinidad. I do that with Hova for Trinidad. We do it in Miami. For AM, we started AM in New York. Then we went to Toronto. We went to UK. And these are pretty
and I must
fluid brands.
Give the original persons who came up with these ideas props, because adding Skinny Fabulous brand on these things is more than any money that you can put into it.
Of course.
Because once your name is tagged on to these things, you know, it carries a certain amount of weight to it. So I must say, it's really a kind of, Skinny Fabulous, ain't something here, boy. We must go. Skinny Fabulous is part of this thing. It's Skinny Fabulous thing. We must go. So that's a good strategy.
And that comes with not only just having the branding of it, but you have to be able to execute. When people come, they realize, okay, this is a proper event.
It needs to be seen. That's one thing I always say to my staff. Listen, you gotta look good. We gotta keep a standard.
Yeah, look good.
Look the part. I always say that.
Yeah.
We gotta keep the standard. We can't be going down when we should be coming up.
Yeah.
You know, we can't be looking at in the 80s when we're in 2025.
But yeah, I mean, it's all derivatives of music. It's all just not being comfortable with what you have. And that's always the best advice I give people, man. Just always try to expand. Settle for what?
Okay, let's move on.
Settle nothing.
The last time you won the Soca Monarch was when? 1990?
No, 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
And what was the song then?
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah, that's when the Jetpack Man crashed.
That's it.
And cost me the crown.
Right. And you had someone in the hospital. There was one when you ran out of the hospital.
Nah, that was Monster. That was Monster. That
right,
was 2011, I believe, or 12, somebody.
So that was the helicopter crash.
No, the jetpack crash.
The jetpack.
Jetpack crash in 2019.
You know who's money by that? Yeah. You remember the name of that song? Please.
That was Avengers.
Avengers. Because I got to find out the story behind. How the hell did you come up with that? Because in those times, we weren't hearing about jetpacks. The things we were seeing on the Jetsons and all these things.
I just like the stupidness.
And it works. It works. You can't find it? You can't find it? Oh, Lord, boy. Mario. Where is my DJ? Where's my DJ? There we go. Where's my DJ? Where's my DJ? Yeah. You came in and you wow a lot of people.
Yeah.
Up to this day, people don't believe that you were in that jetpack. Was it you in that jetpack?
No, I don't know how to fly a jetpack.
You see, a lot of people didn't know that it wasn't you.
No. Yeah, man, to jetpack. And it's on the other fly, you can't risk your life because you're trying to entertain people. And then when you crash on them, what happens?
Yeah.
But the jetpack man did crash into the fence.
He crashed into the fence.
But then he recovered and he went back up.
But and this is somebody who you brought in to do that.
For sure.
Right. And then people thought because you rushed out in the same path and all of that.
And then I just like to bring
you can't find it?
new boats. All right. Same with the helicopter.
Yes.
The helicopter in Victoria Park. Like literally hover the helicopter over the crowd and then land it in the back.
Yeah. This is a jetpack.
No, this is the helicopter.
This is a helicopter.
Yeah. So you don't remember I land the helicopter.
Here we Skinny Fabulous. Watch me.
Gun flat Avengers. Everything gonna shake, everything gonna drop, everything gonna break, everything gonna crack. Madness up in the place. This party have a shot. Tell them make no mistake. We are the Avengers. This are the defenders. We ready to shell them anytime they enter. So if them rise the temper, give them something to remember. We mashing up the left and the right and the center. We doing it for years. If Thanos thinking real,
Yeah, boy. Yeah. That was a big one. That was the last time.
That was the last time, yeah.
Then you decided that's it.
Yeah. Pop up after that.
There was a story, a headline story behind you and this. You thought, correct me if I'm wrong, that the CDC wasn't paying enough because of the amount that goes into producing the production of the presentation on stage. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think you tried to rally. You tried to rally the artists to boycott. Mm-hmm. Remember, this is up close and personal. To boycott Carnival the Sokomonak that year.
Right.
But Fireman decided he breaking ranks, and he went, and then it happened.
I can't remember which year, but there was a year that we were trying to get higher fees, and it did have a the Fireman had stayed out, and I remember that year when we did that whole everybody need to just hold their corner. The big man himself, Mr. Gonzalez, he called. He was like, guys, I know they want more money, but let me just get you this year, and next year we'll make sure that the prize monies go up. Da, 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 da. And with that, the understanding that the next year would be better, I actually decided, all right, let's do it. And the next year, the CDC did actually raise the prize money. Back then, it was like less than 20. And it then eventually went up to like 25, which now it's 60. So we made progress, man. At the end of the day, these organizations need to understand the value of collectively what artists bring to the table. They are the show, so you gotta make sure that they're good.
Do you think do you think corporate SVG understand their role and the importance of
corporate SVG is even in events, corporate SVG, we still don't embrace branding and activations in the events or into the artists in a way that some other islands do it, right? So in other territories, you have sponsors that actually beg promoters to be a part of their show, or sponsors that will approach artists and be like, hey, we want to use you. We want to put you as our brand ambassador. That hardly happens here. There are hardly any companies in Vinci that approaches even the young ones to say like, yo, you are doing good. We sell a brand of curry. Let's say Andrew Meyer, right? Like, listen, we are the distributors for Chief Curry. We want to do a little deal with you and like you sell curry. Like it don't happen. And it should.
It literal.
But is it that we're not there yet in terms of our advancement? Because in Trinidad, I
don't want to criticize corporate society because I need them. So big up all.
I just normally say that too. And I just talk to a lot of artists telling them the same thing. You know what I mean? A lot of them. It's facts attacking.
No. They at the end of the day, corporate Vinci have a
But we gotta publicly let them know, because maybe it is that they don't understand. Yeah. At Carnival time in Trinidad, it's like every other business. You have a brand ambassador, you have a this, you have an endorsement by Skinny doing endorsing. Even a Syrian store, a store that's selling tires, drinks, that. But why are we taking so long to catch up?
Well, yeah, next time you have anybody from these telecoms, but you had to big them up for those who actually did that. Big up Flow Digital. These companies, they have done their artist ambassadorships at points in time, but it's never as consistent as you would want it to be. So even after there's a endorsement of the Skinny Fiery problem, there are all the other artists that are coming up that they need to be a part of that too. It might be on the same level as what you did with a Skinny, but it's worth bigging up a Sarah, Kelly G. You know what I mean? It's still, these guys are talent that they're worth investing in.
Yes.
So invest in them.
Invest in them and make them feel, because it comes back to the businesses as well, too, Because the businesses, they benefit, and they may not see the immediate benefit of it, but they will benefit. Yeah.
For sure.
Carnival, where do you position Carnival 2025 now? With new management, How do you
CDC?
see? Yeah, the CDC.
I think Rodney is doing an amazing job, to be quite honest. And I mean, I know half of it is actually him doing his job, and the next half of it is the optics of not just new blood, but fresh blood. And it's a blood that we have seen confidence in because he was able to execute his own events at levels that were impressive. And so having Rodney as the person who is now dealing with CDC things, we have confidence that when he say this show is happening and this day, it's gonna look good. We're gonna look good.
And that's why it's important to have a face, because even though it's Rodney, Rodney has got a team of people behind him who works very, very hard.
Right.
But he's the face and the voice of the CDC, and he's a brand, so therefore people go behind that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and so.
But he has executed well, I think. I think he understands the assignment, even in just the presentation of the park. I went into the park maybe yesterday, and just the backdrop, the print, the attention they are now placing on how Victoria Park is presented. It's noticeably different.
Okay, let's move back to Trinidad. You have been able to convince a number of the biggest artists soca artists in the world to come together more than once, I think. Or was it more than once?
For sure.
To do a song written by yourself, initiated by yourself.
Right.
How the hell did you get that done? The biggest artist, Leonard family did it for me. The biggest soca artist in the world. How did this initiative get going? How did that happen?
The product is always first, right? So when you do collabs, you don't do. Well, I don't encourage it this way. I don't wake up and say I'm going to do a song with Marshall and OMG, and then let me go and write it. That's not how it happened. The song came first as just an idea. And after listening back the song as a demo, I'm like, nah, I can't sing this song by myself because the messaging of it will flow better if there are others carrying it. Because I can't be singing family with no other family members in the song, right? So that was it. After listening to it, I said, nah, I'm going to invite Marshall on it. And then after listening to Marshall...
And then when you went to Marshall, what did you say to him and what was his response?
I have a thing for you. Listen to this. Tell me what you think. Boom. And then after he did his part, we're listening to it now. I was like, boy, we feel if we put Galen on this now. And it's not as if with just the two, it would not have been a.
And at that time, they weren't
the
best stuff in terms of relationship. Yeah,
exactly.
Garland and Bunchy weren't the best of it. And that helped to bring that. And then other people, you got others. Who were the other persons that came on board?
For this song or after?
For family.
Yeah, after that, they had Bungie Garland after that. Because then after Marshall and I listened to what we had done, we said, nah, let's bring in Garland too. And at that point in time, it was complete. It felt right at that point in time. And honestly, in the history of me doing music, there are also a very few times that this happened. We dropped Family like Friday, any day, and by Saturday morning, it was the biggest song in the country. Period, everywhere. And that's not something that normally happens.
Hey, people have, I think it's the fact that Bungie and Marshall and it took everybody
why
off.
Why the fact that it's skinny, right?
No, because he said it became the biggest.
But hold on, I'll correct you there. Right? Now you say it's because Galen and Marshall, but guess what? The 2 years prior, Galen and Marshall did a song.
Right.
And it wasn't like that.
It was called Bushead.
Yeah.
They come out to
Bus.
It didn't get that kind of
They did have their moment of coming together. Right? So it wasn't about, these two guys who were beefing for so long. They did the song already.
That's what we're going to try and point out a while ago.
Right. So now it became about the messaging of the song, the sonic impression of the song. The song actually sounded good, and it was probably, I see people trying to get in on your thing, on your phone. But at the end of the day, it was about the fresh vibe of the song too, and this was we using bouillon. This time bouillon wasn't necessarily the most popular thing at that point in time. But this was done by
the conch shell. The conch shell is in this one.
No, the conch shell was a different.
Was a different combination.
Me, Marshall, and Iowa George.
Yeah. How did you get these people knowing?
I the architect.
Yeah, but do you look at yourself and say, yo boy, that little
Bing,
boy who been run off stage?
Bing, I could get you.
This,
I could get you, Mark Richardson, and Luke Boyd to open that station together. If I want to open that station together,
you really feel big about himself there.
Sit down and plan things.
Confidence is everything, buddy. Yeah. I mean, you must feel a sense of pride. Let's talk about your family, your mother, for example. How does she feel?
She's a full Christian, you know.
Yeah, but
even in Christianity, our mother would always be proud of her son. Even though she's not one that will come to the concerts.
Yeah.
But
she wants it to be successful.
Of course. She's surrounded by people who want to talk about her son.
And when she heard that conversation about your son did this and your son got that done and your son got that done,
sure.
That must really.
And I mean, you know, as an only child, single parent, you know, your kid becomes a part of what your legacy is. Huh? Well, you know that.
Yeah.
Your kid's success becomes yours. You know. And as a parent, you get to understand that I now being a parent, you know, your kid bring home a report card and it says,
oh, man.
You happy you bragging to your friend them too.
Yeah,
my son, boy,
Exactly. So you got the family done, and this thing, you won awards.
Yeah, well, we won the road march.
Won the road march for the family. How many times did all of you perform the song together?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did a few of them, but after a while, the song became so big, it was impossible to always have all of us at the same
together.
time. So everybody always did repertoires of these songs at different places. So we all ended up owning it in our sets. Different.
Yeah. One of the things I loved about the song was the music video.
Oh, yeah. When we came Vinci, we shot in Trinidad, and we shot in Dominica, which were the 3 islands involved in the project.
Wow, which is part of the family.
And I learned from Kevin little mistakes. I made sure come Vinci, get me a big I'm going through that.
You ain't going through that at all. You want to say, boy, but imagine he ain't come here. Vinci people they don't forget it. They don't forget. Yeah.
Nobody going to tell me, hey, you're a Vincent.
Yeah.
I say, partner, we are flying to St. Vincent. We are shooting in St. Vincent. You understand?
That was a big. You felt proud. You felt proud when you got that accomplished. And
I mean, of course, anytime you do things that people consider, or not even people, that ends up being historical, it's something you should stand up behind and feel good, because that would have been the first time a non-Trinidadian would have been in that position to win a road match. And we almost do it again with Come Home, but
that's something we have. I have a comment I'm going to talk to you about that Come Home thing. There we go. Family. This is the man that put it all together. You may not have known this before. Our very own Skinny Fabulous penned concept and idea. Here we go.
Marshall, Skinny. Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone. So anyway that we go, you feel I'm moving every with me, family. With me, family. When we come to play, we mash up fat, turn up dance, we like a hammer. Cause everybody jump it up together, jump it up together.
Okay, hold on. I see some people on the live saying they're not getting any song. You check that for me, please. Oh God, people are dancing, and you're getting some. And the fair to say dancing. She put up the dancing emoji. I don't know. Leslie Brown said no song, but Andy Kratos dancing. Alright, but we dancing still. Yeah. That was a major achievement, and I felt proud. I personally felt proud about that. Although sometimes I don't like you, but I felt personally proud about that.
I like you, I still ain't forgive you for throwing with my tune. That was a harsh. That morning I almost cried.
I almost cried when I dash your thing in the ground. The boy said, big up Junior Lee. VC. What was Junior's role in this? Junior is also a product of mind, eh?
From IKTV.
From IKTV.
Yeah.
Junior walked into my studio one day and said, bang. I said, who you little boy? You don't know nothing about this. And eventually I took him under my wing. And I don't know if he told you this story. I took him under my wing and I trained him. I took Junior to Trinidad. When the first time Junior went to Trinidad for Carnival, was I taking him.
Yes.
Ezzy as well too. I took Ezzy as well too. And I made Junior did a music video free of cost for Bungie and Fayan. Free of cost. It's black and white. Yeah. And they still have it up on their page. And they were like, my God, like this
Junior is a rotten.
Junior.
Yes. I actually taught him to spin music to him.
He still works with, he still is your main guy?
Yeah.
Or you've got others?
Nah. Junior is still my main videographer, so to speak.
Yeah.
So in fact, every Trinidad, Junior stays where I am, and he does coverage and the recaps and whatnot. So for the last 5 years, I walk with Junior to Trinidad. I walk with Junior to Uber Soca Cruise. So he does most of.
And he tells me that he constantly just walking. He captures walking on his laptop and trying to get him out.
And he also did the animation for Family.
Yeah.
Before the video came.
Before the video came, the tree moving.
Yeah.
That was
another Vincentian
Junior.
again. Another
Junior.
We need to recognize and big up our Vincentian and the role that we are doing in the soca world and the creative arts world. We need to. And skinny people need to hear it from you too. You know. They need to hear it from me because they hear it from me, they'll say, well, Big always cussing and Big all this, and I don't give to hell. But hearing it from Skinny is a different thing. So it's good that you've got that. You've got there was another one with a conch shell. Right. Which one was this?
It was called Shell. It was called Conch Shell. And that was another mix-up of a booing out thing. And, you know.
Yeah. How did that happen?
This happened I was in Ibiza, which I'm a part of. Invested in a festival called the Ibiza Soca Festival. Again, you see, I had to invest, I had a silly vision and jump in, right?
Yeah, right.
It was in Ibiza, and we were all in the room, and there was this band in Dominica. They were playing live, and they had and every time we had an after party in the morning, and every time somebody came into the room where we were partying, we would stop the music and welcome them with that. And I said, Stephen, we need to make this into a song. So I did it. Run the idea. Them fellas like it. Them fellas say, let me do it. And it was risky at the time because a chorus normally needs words. But in this case, we made the shell or the instrument the chorus. Which was risky because people love to have something to sing. You know, when you do family, family, you could pull along the music and you would hear people singing.
Yeah.
This didn't happen. This didn't happen.
This is it.
Time to Shelly place. Shelly place. So now we Shelly place. So now we Shelly place.
You the main right on this as well too, right? Yep. Don't shake your head. Say it. Claim it.
We come to kill them hell. Kill them hell. Whenever you hear the conch shell, everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. People only jumping up when conch shell in the place. Get them only winding up if conch shell in their face. Walking up and juking up like conch shell in their waist. We don't want it slow when conch shell go his face. Tell me what you want. You want the party start. You know you love the soccer from the bottom of your heart. Tell me what you want. You want the bed to start. You want to wash up on the stadium and the park. Right now we come to kill them hell. Kill them hell. Whenever you hear the conch shell, everybody shell.
Okay.
Still no sound?
No, they cussing. Mixed and mastered by the best Parry Jack. Parry Jack was involved.
Somebody have all the information.
Jesus. So not just written by a Vinci, also mixed and mastered by a Vinci.
Yeah, man.
You made that connection?
Of course. I mean, even Parry for Family. We did.
So Parry makes Family as well.
Yeah.
Like you see, these are things that I never knew.
Yeah. And then we actually were toying. We had Scratch did work on it. We had several people did work on it, but we ended up going with Paris.
Paris.
Yeah,
Okay. Somebody has a gift. Skinny Fabulous says flowers. I feel so proud. He represents for Vinci and himself. It's top notch. Yeah. Big up Ken Samuel on the live. I don't know who Ken Samuel. Everybody. So many things coming. You really initiated a lot of things.
Yeah, man. I like to pull
and new things. Like things that was never done in music.
So I think all people were talking about even like for Come Home, right?
Yes. Who are we going there now? You ready for me to go there?
I ready to. You know much phone calls coming for things like that, you know. But yeah, even with Come Home, Come Home is a project that landed on my desk, and in the form that it came, it was very raw, and it was.
When do you say raw? Raw in music means what?
It was in its demo stage.
Okay.
Right, which means it needed finishing, and it needed what it needed to be a complete situation, right? And another fun fact, Come Home landed on other people's desk before it landed on mine.
Oh.
And they didn't see it. They didn't see it. They didn't see what it could be and how to make it what it eventually became, right?
Do you know that I interviewed her? About a week after Tweez organized that interview for me.
I ended up and messaged.
Anyway, Tweez organized the interview for me to interview her, right? And it was supposed to be live on it, but she was like, "What thing I need to? I look on." She's clearly obsessed with her vision, image, and all that, right? Right. Mm-hmm. So I interviewed her on this, but I'll tell you something. But you go ahead, and we're gonna talk about the thing. Yeah. So she said to me that one of the main reasons why after you jumped on it, why she said it has to be Skinny was your voice, right? And she started describing your voice in such a way. I said, hold on, this people making love or what? I'm like, Jesus Lord. She started describing her voice. I was like, you having an orgasm? She said, his voice, and his voice. How? Tell me, relate to me the conversation after you reached back to her and you said to her, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Right. So it landed on my desk. I realized that it was a very Disney World type of song at that point. Because she was doing it in She was doing it in this very lullaby way. You know?
Yeah. I know voice, you know.
Yeah, very whispery. Put me to his bed, cuddle me, give me some coconut and some marshmallows.
Here we go.
And so I said, listen, man, we can make this. We could keep the merger.
That's the music, not the voices.
We could keep the fairy Thumbelina nice prettiness, but we have to figure out how to give it that grit, right? And so I took up the challenge as to how to merge her prettiness and how to add the grit. And I think for the other persons who would have gotten the opportunity to do that, they weren't able
they couldn't do that.
They didn't even try. To be quite honest. So by the time I landed on my desk and I said to Steve,
because you need a Beauty and a Beast kind of song. Yeah. I think that is what you're going for. Beauty and a Beast kind of sound.
Mm-hmm. And so even some of the parts that I ended up doing, it wasn't initially for me to do. So even the so don't you ever let me down, those parts weren't initially for me to do, but I said, nah, we need to put some masculinity here. You understand? Yeah, to give it balance. And so it was a fun project for me. Oh. And big up to Wildfire, who was a brilliant vocal engineer. So we sat and we did about 9 layers of harmonies to eventually find that perfect sound that blends Nyla's voice with mine in a seamless way.
Okay. Was it done together?
No.
The two of you?
Nope.
You didn't do it together?
Nope.
Okay, so
I did my part in a garage in Miami.
In a garage?
In a garage.
Okay.
Sitting on a bucket.
All right. And you send the file off to her.
Yeah.
And then they did their thing. Mm-hmm. And when they sent back the final product to you, what did you think?
Well, I knew it was I knew it was a hit for me. I personally had liked it. and I was doing an album at the time, so I wanted it on my album. Which, to be honest, I knew it would be a song that if you didn't like it, you strip it. But I didn't know it would be like
that big
anthem big.
It was and it was coming out of COVID as well too. That made it even more special.
That made it connect in a even more beautiful way.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you, when you were penning your part of it, were you thinking about that?
Well, this is one of those projects too that came. You gotta big up the writers involved in this too, right? Because what I ended up writing is like ad libs and little coloring that end up enhancing the chorus. But as a concept, the concept is from Kit Advocate, a guy named Mevon, and the guy who wrote Party for Marshall this year. We deserve a party. Right. It's about 4 different writers on this thing, you know.
Including yourself.
I ended up only writing in the chorus.
You did the chorus.
Support in the back. But as a concept, it came written already. This is one of them things, again.
Okay.
If you have opportunities that come to you, you have to put your interpretation on it. But all these things were meant to be female.
But she said to me when I interviewed her that she wanted and she allowed you to have your creative, to put your creative brand on it.
Yeah.
That's what she told me.
Yeah.
And
so I had to make it me.
Yeah.
So of course I would modify and change and do my lines and whatever and make sure that it's Skinny Fabulous here and here. This is it has to represent.
Right. So here we go now. Here's the curtain now. So this is where I use my friend Cliff. Sorry boy, I have to tell out the secret. I know you're listening. I see you online. So my friend Cliff Harris called me, right?
Is this Cummins?
Yeah, this Cummins.
Okay.
My friend, I don't care. You know me already. Cliff Harris called me.
Start Cummins.
Or did I call him? After Army Fest now. And you guys were doing the interview backstage with Synergy.
Yeah.
Nice backdrop. And, you know, with the army fatigue and the this and the that, you guys look really nice.
When you say you guys, you talk about
both you
and Nyla,
right?
Cool.
In terms of your costume, you're on stage, you know,
right?
Right? You look really nice. And at one part, I saw you put your hands around her waist, and she also. He put him back on the glass.
I don't see this guy. You know, man.
I'm telling you what I saw.
Yeah, right. I know it.
It's on YouTube, or they go and put it up right now on YouTube. Put it up. And she didn't step away. She returned the favor and put her hands around your waist. You drinking water. That water ain't going to help you there right now. If you want water to help you, I have to keep my pass and bless it and sprinkle some holy water. Right. And I said, Cliff, these people in a relationship or what? He said, boy, big boy, that's your Vinci. You need to ask your Vinci that. I said, well, I ain't going to ask him now. The next time I get him on the 4Ys, I will ask him. He will lie, but I will still ask him. During that year when you did that song with Nyla Blackman, were you in a relationship with her?
No.
Why you not like
I was trying to keep a straight face here. No, the answer is no.
You see that laugh? You see that?
No,
I laugh.
No, I laugh because of
Why you
the
laughing?
backstory. I laugh it.
You can't even hold up yourself. Put him on the ground. Man, get him off the ground. 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 If you are more power to you, I would love to do it.
I don't answer you several times.
Listen to me. I would love to be in your position.
Right.
So you're saying.
I am saying.
You're saying.
Yes.
In front of me, if I put a lie detector test on you,
right.
that you would say that you would not, whether it be short or long term,
right,
during the carnival season when you were traveling around and performing this song together,
right,
you were not in a relationship with Nyla Blackman.
No.
Whether emotional or physical.
Listen to this man again.
Answer my question. You want to come around here? I kind of
Right.
whether it was an emotional relationship or physical relationship. You were not in any relationship.
No, I only had a professional relationship.
But a professional physical or professional emotional?
We shared a creative space on stage and in rehearsals, but we kept it professional.
Glad you went there. During the emotional, the rehearsal process, during the rehearsals, how was it?
It was good. We had good professional chemistry.
Okay. And you thought that the chemistry was good and she thought that the chemistry was good.
Right.
So therefore, there was a meshing of chemistries.
Right.
Right. So things were going well.
What?
Yes, things went well. Professionally speaking, we were able to find a groove that works when we were on stage.
Right.
So when I spoke, there was no overlapping. When she did her parts, we understand the cues of each other.
Right.
So when we performed, it looked like one product. It was one
So
presentation
it was just
all
for
time.
optics then.
What was for optics?
What I saw was optics. It was just optics.
I don't know what you saw.
I just told you. I saw you put your hands around her waist, and she returned as well. And I saw in several performances. I picked up certain things. Remember, I bought plenty. I bought my wife plenty times. So I know about these things, and so I know about these things. Okay. So what I'm saying,
it was platonic.
It was just platonic.
Yeah.
Okay. And never in your mind did you say, boy.
No.
Never in your mind, Skinny. Why
Not
you laughing?
specifically.
No. Not specifically.
Not specifically, no.
What
As
do
a
you mean?
man.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Because guess what? As a man, we go into a room.
Right.
We just size up the room all the time. We
Right.
size up. As men, we go into a room of females, we size up everybody.
Did you size up Nyla?
No, we size up everybody.
Did you size
I
up
did not
Nyla?
size up
You,
Nyla.
she ain't look that good? That's what you're saying?
I'm telling you.
You telling me she ain't look
On
that
a
good?
general level, I
Okay.
think she's an attractive young lady. In
How?
the same which way I think Jadel is attractive.
Right.
I think Angie Maya is attractive.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like.
But I didn't see that energy between you and Jada and Angie Maya and all of that. That move, that chemistry.
That me dupes, that me soldier.
Yeah.
That me soldier.
I know how to lie about these things too.
Nah, that me
I'm
soldier.
a cousin. I know about these things. Buddy, talking to the man.
You kept it professional.
You kept
It was
it
professional. Yeah, it was professional.
Okay.
Right? But we had good vibes.
You never thought about it, did you?
No.
At any time at all?
No. But I do acknowledge that she's a beautiful. You can man take off her glasses. She's a beautiful young lady. That's it. See, being everybody like you now. You see a thing, you ready to
He's a
pounce.
nasty man, you know, man.
You see a thing and it look good, you ready to pounce.
And you don't?
I don't pounce. I don't pounce. As a respectable,
upstanding citizen in the country who don't drag the country flag.
I
You
don't
just
drag
keep
the
it professional.
flag.
You
I
don't
keep
just-
my thing as a kind of one girl.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Kid.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Of course.
Are you in a relationship?
Of course.
Is this person in the field? Like
in the entertainment
Yeah.
world? No.
No. Okay. How did you
Hello.
meet her? How did you meet her?
Hello, what are we doing here?
Just
outside of the scope of music. They're not in the
Up
field,
close,
which
not in the
mean
field.
it's outside of the scope of the interview. Not in, you could ask me about Nyla because she's a musician too, and I answered you. And let me just declare again, the relationship was professional, and we have kept it that way.
Never get it. Never take it. Boy.
No.
I can't see you doing. You have
No.
You lie.
You keep judging me by your standards.
Yes.
Right.
Because I know you lie. Kid, you see Nyla?
Yeah.
And you see Nyla when Skinny and Nyla on stage?
Yeah, I spoke with her earlier on in the year.
Play the song. Listen to the whispering voice in the ears, eh? Listen to how she's whispering in his ears, eh? Listen to this. Listen to his ears.
And I've been waiting.
While they're on the bed.
Call me stubborn, but I can get over it. You left and never say goodbye.
He going to drop the hammer now, eh? He going to drop the hammer.
I cry, no, I can get over it.
So don't you ever let me down again. Cause I'm depending on you, so you better come through this time. Please hear my cry, and if I ever let you down, my friend, it was a misunderstanding. So if I took you for granted, then I promise from today I go jump like I never jump, wave like I never wave, wine like I never wine before, just to show you a sorrow, and I need you back in my life. Look at people by the truck, emotions running high, we end up in the sky, tears running down we eye. Can't you tell that we sorry, and we need you back in we life. I need my girl back home.
This song really, beside all the this song is one of these songs that I think will live on for a long time. It's got some legacy to it.
Yeah. I've been blessed with a few classics in my catalog. This is one.
This is one of them.
Family is one.
Right.
Up and Up is one. All the fans of Soca is one.
Right.
Thank God It's Friday is one. Happy. I've been blessed with a few gems that will always be in my set, and I foresee them staying there as long as my career lasts.
Okay.
And
When you travel out to perform, these are the songs that how do you decide what songs you're going to?
Every market you have to kind of tailor it. Not everything would work for every market. So there are places that I go that I take out songs and put in songs. Right? Where you was, boy? You
bring Kongs. He was here when I interviewed Nyla. He was here, and he was convinced that you and Nyla had a relationship going on.
Wow. Shady, that's true. Is he thinks so? Right?
He was here that. He telling you don't cheat. Don't cheat on the woman. Okay, that was in the past. That happened in the past.
Good.
That happened in the past. Yeah.
Good. So right. Great boy. I like that you saved the juicy part to the end. I looking at the time. I said,
yeah. Because I had to come to that. I had to get to that. Okay. If you've got how many albums?
So I did my the first official album in terms of in this online world was Bad, which we did 2 years ago, and we have now gone past 8, I think, but 10 million streams. So
wow!
I have my Spotify plaque. I have my iTunes number.
How many? No. How many on Spotify?
We have 10 million streams. For the album. Right, and we had like 3 number ones on there. So on my wall, I have a few plaques that I'm proud of, including last year's Caribbean Music Award Artist of the Year.
You got yeah. Shady, kid, come on, we gotta give the man some flowers for his Artist of the Year award. Yeah.
I mean, so at the end of the day, there are things in the span of my career that I could say I'm happy about.
Yeah.
If I decide tomorrow I hang up, I feel like
you've done well. You've done well. Yeah. So if you have to quantify this success, in terms of money, you would.
Wow.
And you would be. I mean,
what time is it?
Why people don't
3
like to
minutes.
talk about money?
3 minutes.
Pumpy is a good guy. Pumpy like we. Pumpy good with we. If you have to quantify this, how much? Not given exact. So, like, what is your worth? Well, in terms of
what is my worth?
Not just your cash worth, but your worth in terms of assets.
You could Google that.
What's your worth? What do you think your worth?
Okay, firstly, in the Caribbean, right, and maybe rappers get away with it. Rappers get away with, and it's because it's a part of their culture, about singing, bragging, and showing off what they have, the type of car they drive,
they walk with the house, the
their mansions, and their jewelry. That's their thing. In the Caribbean, more so in soca world, we don't do that.
We do what? Homes.
We don't show what we have in a flashy way, and it's not because we're not proud of the things that we own, but it just doesn't translate well to the people we're entertaining. So I wouldn't even advise.
Yeah, because you come out, you don't want your people who surrounds you.
Right. People sometimes get uncomfortable with
yeah.
your belongings.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's something I stay away from. I don't have no money. That's it.
But don't say you don't have. Say
Okay.
I've been blessed.
I've been
blessed
enough for myself.
Yes,
right? I have definitely utilized some responsible financial practices.
Good.
That allow me to understand that this thing will come with an expiration date.
Right.
And there will be a time where you have to depend on what you have accumulated over the years. Right? And so I've always had that in mind. So I've made good decisions with what I have made.
So if you have to hang up your belt tomorrow, you can relax and say, you know what, I don't have to fight with NIS. I've done well for myself and my family.
Yeah, I've made smart enough decisions to be able to function properly.
And you do you think that you're like one in every 10,000 in this Vincent market, for example? Wow, that's not enough.
In Vincent, I mean there's several artists that have been able to experience some financial freedom, I believe. You know.
Okay. And you're good. You're good.
I've done enough.
You've done enough.
Yeah.
That's if you don't. I respect you for saying that because I know the society is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we live in a place where if you pass a block in a Toyota Corolla, you get more hails than if you pass in your flashy vehicle.
Yeah.
You're passing your flashy vehicle and man like the Vex. You pass on a scooter. Where's it? Come take a run with me now. You know, you pass different, or sometimes sun hot, you know. So you have your AC on, your windows up. Because sun hot. You can't waste the AC. And men will look at that like, yeah, boy, you feel what you feel even good. It's a weird thing.
With a straight face, you know.
Not telling you. I'm telling you, baby.
No, but I know what you're saying because I don't ever drive. I don't ever drive with my windows down. And it's for that reason. Don't care how I tell people that, they don't get it.
They don't get it.
You know?
And sometimes you in there listening to music.
Yeah, you're in a zone. And
a man might make a thing and you didn't see him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you feel you're better than. But no, I in there driving, focus, listening
to
music.
Do you feel at times that you don't want to, well, you have to, but going out in public, it makes you feel, it happens to me.
Right.
Like I don't go out. My two friends,
I don't go out either.
Yeah, they don't get it, but it makes me feel like I'm very uncomfortable and thing going out in public.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Similar.
Yeah.
I only go to events if my friend is having an event. I might show face to support. But to just go to a random party because I see it on a flyer and say I want to go that, I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't go on the block and hang out and do all that.
That's it. So when you're in St. Vincent now, you've got several things that are going to happen. Let's go through them.
Friday we have Crush. Saturday.
Wait. Explain what Crush is going to be about.
Crush is the beach party. And I'm glad you ain't asked me about one thing now that the interview is about to wrap up. So I'll leave you with this one. Great. Which is Friday is Crush and Dip, which is at the La View poolside.
Right.
On Saturday, my now friend has invited me to make an appearance in Victoria Park.
Right.
So I will honor his invitation.
How did that
request.
happen? How did that happen? How did that friendship?
I wouldn't be. I mean, friendship is a word where.
Yes, we throw around loosely.
But at the end of the day, me and Fireman, we are good.
But it had to get to a really good place to say, let me do something together. Let me do a song together.
Yeah, because enough time passed where people grow, man. And at the end of the day, you have to realize that the tensions or sometimes all of it was superficial. There is no real tension between me and them. You know what I mean? It sparks from people around us and whatnot. But as you grow, you realize beefing is strippiness, beefing expensive, bad.
It takes up a significant part.
It's expensive in your energy, it's expensive on your pockets, it's just expensive, it just don't make no sense. And
whose idea was it to do the song? Who went to who? Who called, who sent the message and say, yo, let me do
again, so the product comes first, right? So in terms of how the song came,
right?
It came from Carbon. The music came from Carbon, right? Carbon, big up Carbon.
Carbon James, big up.
Yeah. And then
started. Instrumental.
Carbon had a different idea, and I said, Carbon, we could do the idea, but I'm hearing something different. So what I heard ended up being the darkness of the music, which eventually got to like when Super Hero.
The darkness of the music.
Yeah,
right.
Because this is minor cause. This is darkness. And it's scary.
So
because when I heard it, I'm like, this sound like something about to happen, like a tsunami or a volcano or something.
No, don't bring any music.
And that guided the idea of embracing the darkness, and that's how the whole like when Sophie era.
Okay, all right, and then
after that, because we're now running from ashes and whatnot, because I wanted, nobody just stand up in volcano and not know. And this is where the only person who could execute that type of energy is Mr. Delroy Hooper. So the song will tell you what it needs, and the song demanded it to be Fireman.
And then who did you go to? You went to Herrick, or you went straight to?
Yeah.
How was it? A phone call? Was it a?
No, well, I mean, I
message?
just said Carbon just.
Oh, so you went to Carbon to get him?
No, but I messaged him too.
You messaged him too?
Of course.
And his response was?
Of course, he down. He went and did it. He just went and did it. The next thing I got was the vocals.
And did you expect it to create this sort of response?
I always say we don't make hits, people choose hits.
People choose it.
You understand? So at the end of the day, is we could just do the best version of it that we know how. Once we are satisfied with what we hear, we just hope that people also hear what we envision as a sound, as a song. And yeah.
How many times have you both performed it together?
Once.
And what was the response to seeing
great.
the two of you on stage? What was the response?
It became a viral moment. And then it sparked the final decision to say, well, all right, we can make an appearance.
Okay. And how culture. Did you, when you were on stage together with him? Because remember, these are two groups that were
and apart from two different camps, we have two different styles. Too,
right.
So it's always a very interesting mix.
Right.
We don't perform in the same type of way.
Yes.
So it's exciting for me too, because he'll be doing one thing, I has a different format. Yeah. So that mix up is
with this
spectacular.
Song, with this song, will you try to carry this song out of St. Vincent?
Of course.
And then will you try to carry Fireman out of St. Vincent?
I will need to carry. He doesn't need to be carried.
No. Into the Trinidad market I'm speaking about. Into the Trinidad market, where you're big.
I mean, wherever the legs of this song take me, obviously, same thing would apply for him. You know what I mean? So it's just making sure don't put in the song on autopilot.
Right.
And understanding that many people may not know what soufre is and what it meant to be running from a volcano. Right. But it is our job to translate that vibe, that darkness, excitement, amazement. Because although as dangerous as soufre is or was, we stood and we looked at those plumes in like almost amazement. Sometimes it was fair, but it was just the wowness, the incredible vision of it was also exciting.
Very much.
You know, see what you want about Skinny. I mean, I don't like him on plenty, but I remember right after the volcano, I called him. You're not in St. Vincent.
No, I came home.
You came home.
Yeah, I was here and I was down on the ground taking it with Asma, Karen, KFC, and helping.
And I said, Skinny, I have this idea. I want to get you to get a group of artists to spearhead to do a song to raise money for the volcano, the people who suffered. You remember that? And immediately, without even thinking, he said, yeah, tell me, you have everything immediately.
Yeah, man.
I mean, immediately. He did not even think. But then certain things happened and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that I shared this to a lot of people, not on A but off A, to tell them, to give them the respect that I have for you with things like that, because people do not know you as much as you think in a Skinny.
No, they don't see me as a philanthropist.
No,
and
they
I
don't.
send couple
They
people
don't.
to school. I give
Yeah,
scholarships.
they don't.
I just repair things.
Yeah.
I just give trophies. I just buy
Yeah.
my computers. I just do sponsorship programs of
Yeah,
every road
they
in the
don't do
schools.
that. They don't.
But I don't go to Eyewitness News and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is what I did. I don't
Yeah.
do the photo in front of the principal. At the end of the day, I do
Yeah.
my part and do what I need to do.
Yeah. Are you still going to be a comrade this year?
I'm still going to be a what?
Comrade.
I'm not. I'm your comrade. You know, we're comrades.
I know that's what you want me to ask you. I know that's what you want me to ask you. You started this thing.
Which thing?
Well, let me finish what I said. You started this thing where artists started aligning themselves with political parties. And I remember a friend of mine, and I warned him. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then this idiot went and did it, and then it became a thing. And then other people start doing it, you know? And I'm saying, look at this.
I'm going to give you a controversial disclaimer.
Go ahead.
You ready for it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am not affiliated with any political party.
But why are you seen as fingers in the
Show me your voting finger.
What's the other one?
So now let me give you context to this now. However, I do admire the Prime Minister.
Right.
So my support has been in terms of these songs that I have done for that political party.
Mm-hmm.
One is business, first of all.
What kind of business?
Business, as a businessman, is business.
You get paid to do it?
What do you think I run in that? You think it's a Salvation Army? This is business.
Julian boy!
This is business. If
okay.
you hire me to represent the ideas of the party for this election.
Okay.
What is the messaging? What are we trying to do?
Okay.
You want me to pen a song that translates your message. I tell you this is what it will cost you. You say, okay, I agree.
Okay.
I give
so
it to
that
you.
so you started out by saying you're not affiliated with any political party.
No.
And you said that you're doing business.
I am doing business.
However, wait. Don't jump ahead of me.
Okay.
Don't jump ahead of me. If, for example, Dr. Friday reached out to you as a businessman,
but he
didn't. He said he didn't. But I'm saying if going forward
no,
no,
there's an ethical code that might be a little wonky. I mean, you still have to have a little bit of principles in how you do business. So at this point in time, it would be a little bit too strategic, and but whoever came in those days. But Mr. Gonzalez was always somebody who saw potential in music and saw the power of
music,
the cultural aspect. And he knows the truth. That's why all of his campaigns, he's sitting there and he wants to dance, and because he understands the power of music. So their approach to me, and this is since I was kind of like nobody still. I was a young artist, and they approached me to write a song. And that's how I got involved in Nana. It was really business at first. It still is business.
And you also perform on the platform.
Of course, you're paying me. Why would I not?
Okay. Well, I respect that.
Why would I not?
I respect that. Yeah.
And it so happens that I actually like the leader of.
And therefore you vote for the party.
The next piece of controversy.
How's that controversy?
No, I'm gonna say something that's controversial.
Okay.
Is that for some of these elections, me personally, just my responsibility to actually dip in the ink. A lot of times it didn't happen.
But the times that it did happen,
it didn't happen.
You've never voted?
Maybe the very first one.
After you've penned the song?
Yeah. Of course. Many of these things, because at the end of the day, right? Because hear what? When you now become like the face of the campaign song.
Right.
Me going into a polling station, I don't want to.
Right.
attract
But
all
you
of
voted.
attention.
You voted.
I voted before.
And you voted for the party.
You can't tell me who I voted
No,
for.
I'm asking you. You voted for the party.
No, like come
Okay,
on.
so you voted for NDP then. You pen a song, you're the face of the party, and you voted for NDP.
Point is, there's a reason why you go inside this place in a private room and you write your
Nobody
thing as
know
a
you
private.
vote for.
Right?
Nobody
So
know
in the
you vote
name of
for. Yeah.
respecting what that practice is,
Okay.
you don't ask people who they
Are you in the
vote
process of penning a song right now for the party?
for. No.
Why not?
I have not been approached to write a
So
song.
you're
for the
waiting
party.
to be approached?
I'm not waiting. If they
If you
approach me,
if you approach to pen a song right now for the comrade,
and
will you do it?
and upon seeing the invoice, they agree. I am business. Bing, if you want me to write a song for you too.
Oh my
I can
God!
write a song.
But
the tag for you and the tag for a government is
Yeah,
different.
different,
And
it's
guess
different.
what? I have penned songs for St. Kitts government.
Well,
And
the
they
Labour
were-
Party in St. Kitts,
for
yes.
There are other political parties across the region that have contacted us for services.
And you've done
it's business, and I don't know none of the candidates, but they tell me who they are,
right?
And they know what the messaging is, and I'm able to translate the message into music.
Have
And
you
that's it.
benefited from, beside being paid? Have you ever?
I don't
have
think
you
I've benefited from, because
benefited?
in fact you attract more hatred than anything else. You attract more polarization from fans. Now they see you as a Labour man and rate. And at the end of the day, I'm not affiliated with any of the candidates. I can't even tell you who running for what. You know, some people just know, last year.
But you had passport.
But that is as an ambassador who has done
But
things
that's-
for
I
St.
didn't
Vincent. I'm answering you.
Well, you're asking him.
I'm answering you.
So yes, you have your red passport. You are a diplomat of the culture representing St. Vincent out there, which is a red passport.
No, it is a diplomatic passport.
Which is a red passport. So you have your red passport.
Yes, in color.
Right, and that went to cabinet, and cabinet decided that we shall give Skinny a red passport because of the work that he's done in St. Vincent as a part of the culture and also of the party as well.
No.
Nothing is wrong with that. I agree with that. You deserve
There
more
are
than a red
persons,
passport.
no, but there
You
are
deserve more
persons in
than
the
a red
sporting.
passport.
There are persons in the sporting.
Who's also got their red passport?
Yeah, because they deserve that. At the end of the day, there are persons who represent and end up being the flag bearers of the country in some significant way. And I always say, like a fireman Hooper, right?
Right.
I think that one of these streets in Kingston should be named after Hooper or Georgetown or wherever. Don't wait until something happens. Don't wait until he's no longer here to rename a building, a school, a library or something. You understand? And this is it. You don't wait till people go on to acknowledge their contributions. But that's not to say you're trying to politicize these appointments.
Bless my heart.
Don't do that.
Addition also like me.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do
like
that. Because now you're trying to
That's
take
not that.
away from the impact of all those persons who
I
actually
am not.
have been appointed
Oh,
with
bless
that.
my heart.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Now you're trying to play meek and you want to play most innocent now.
You know?
Oh, bless my heart.
Somebody said this interview will have to be on the news today. Skinny, I want to thank you very much, everybody. I know the question you wanted me to, but I ain't gonna go there.
Which question is that?
The one that you said that you was waiting, but I ain't go there. But I won't do that.
Good.
I won't do that. You know, I respect the parties involved. I won't do that.
Good.
I won't do that. I'm not like that. But congratulations. Continue to do you. And you work very hard. Very, very hard. I mean, like all hours of the morning. Was it what time of the morning you and I were WhatsApping, chatting?
I don't see. I wake up at least 6:45 around there every day, naturally.
Yeah.
Even if I go to bed 4 o'clock, I'm waking up 7. It's just a thing.
Yeah, but we were chatting very late. We chat very late on WhatsApp, you know, and it shows a sign of your work ethics, and it's very, very good of you, right? Some artists, they can't work, they can't stay up during the day because they work in the night. They gotta sleep, they gotta this, they gotta that. You right through.
Right through.
You right through.
Right through.
And that is maybe part of your success.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I leave, I'm going to by the mass calm, then I
Yeah.
have to do a site visit at the tarmac and plenty of things.
Yeah. Continue to fly the Vincent flag out there, and we love you. If you've never heard, we love you. The people here loving you. for who you are. You see, and there are a lot of things that came out in this interview that a lot of people did not know before, right? And this helps to give you more love. And I say a man has no honor in his own country.
For sure.
Yeah. You are a product of
I've
that.
faced my fair share of
you've had your
hatred.
Yeah.
In Vincy.
Yeah, but you've earned your fair share of love now.
I've earned some love.
Yeah.
And it used to stress me out back in the day, like, man, why people just hated me for no reason?
Yeah, you don't know.
But like,
but you understand. You understand.
I understand. It comes with the territory.
Where can persons get tickets for your
Just go online. You could get all those tickets for Crush, for Wet Republic. You go on Eventbrite, type in Wet Republic, you'll see it. And then there are various ticket outlets, Paul's, Thomas Wholesale, the gas station in Pembroke, Mikey's. It's a real place. Once you go on IG, once you go on Instagram on the page, you'll see a full list of all these ticket outlets. And it's going to be a very big one on Sunday.
How is it going to be down there? Because you call it chocolate.
Chocolate beat. So the decor, and we're encouraging persons to wear nude colors. I won't say nude colors.
I like that.
Ladies. Don't come nude.
I am encouraging you to do the nude thing, ladies.
No, nude colors, shades of brown. So we have shades of tan, cocoa.
Can you understand it, man?
You understand? So that's what it is.
What,
embracing natural
you're gonna
colors.
have chocolate show and all of them? What is that chocolate something in there or some? And I can lick. I wanna lick some female body. When I hear, that's what came out as well. I mean, Jesus, you can't blame me for all my mind things. You know what I mean? So there won't be no chocolate pouring.
The ladies are the chocolate because we.
That's why I know who you think I want to lick.
Yeah, come. What's your favorite flavor? You have white chocolate, you have milk chocolate, or you have dark chocolate. What is your thing? And it's a caramel.
Cuban Cutlass, boy. Tell him. You want me to tell him or I go tell him?
I know you like white chocolate.
Of course, that's my thing right there. Yeah. So it's gonna be down. It's gonna be very close to the end.
Yeah. So set it up on the grass with the backdrop being the ocean.
Right.
So persons, back there you could pull up on a little speedboat, but you might as well just park properly and come in the party.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you something about. You have any artists coming in from outside to perform?
Yeah, I have 2 surprise guest artists, but again,
I hope you don't do it.
This carnival is not about outside artists at all.
I've been at war with the CDC for bringing in foreign artists to perform in St. Vincent because I think this carnival is a time for our local artists to shine.
That's why I haven't advertised any outside. I'm not doing that no more. We could survive on local.
Yeah, you can survive on just the brand and your thing. So congratulations on that. The event will it start on time?
Will it start on time? I hope so.
Yeah.
But things Murphy's Law, what is to go wrong sometimes.
Sometimes will go wrong, yeah.
And the challenges with down there are about 3 other events in that same space. So
at the same time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
You know, the mobility of moving the containers that are down there, we have to wait till people clear out to open back the containers to then bring in the sand because we're really trying to make a beach for sure.
You really trying to make a beach?
Well, as in the sand aspect of it. That's what I mean. Of course. God, boy, yeah, really.
What to expect in the VIP? What can people who want to go in the VIP? Yeah. What should they expect?
VIP, your vantage point is right next to the actual stage. There's an elevated level, so it can be a little bit higher in your area. There's umbrellas, there's bottle service. You have your own bar, so you don't have to walk through no thick crowds to get drinks. You know what I mean? And you have your own food situation in there too.
Okay.
Right?
Are those seating?
Well, for your daughter.
Yeah, please. Could you? Yeah. And there'll be tables. You said table service.
Tables, yeah.
And you can get your Moet and your days.
Yeah, you get all your drinks in there.
And will it be a dry zone area, of course?
Yeah, it's only a specific area where the water slide is. If you want to get wet in a while, you go there, you know. You show your parts, you do your thing, you shake your tail.
Okay. Well, Fireman will be performing the song with you on that night, of course.
Yeah, well, by that time it will be a victory lap, no?
Jesus.
Would it not?
Are you looking forward to it? Yeah. I want to get some with DJ High, then I want to get some with DJ High. On Carnival Tuesday, on the road, we'll be broadcasting live up at Oxygen Mass up at the cruise
Cruise
ship
ship, right.
terminal.
Yes.
And we've got another surprise for him. Should I tell him now? We'll be broadcasting live on the truck, not just audio, but on social media as well too. So you tell your family and your friend wherever the part of the world they are, that you can get to see them live on the Boom IKTV social media page as well too, because we'll be broadcasting live on Oxygen. My phone started to light up on the Oxygen Mass. In the Oxygen Mass band. And I know I've never played Mass with Oxygen. I gone past. I done too old already. I mean,
But at least you'll be able to see it for yourself.
yeah, I'll
this
see
time.
it. Yeah, I'll see it. I'll see the home and I'll see it. I'll look at it. Yeah, and you guys will do it. Congratulations, Skinny Buddy. Thank you very much.
Don't know.
Yeah, you know he brought me out. He's the one who brought me out. He brought me out. And listen, this will be it. For until after Carnival, nobody call me, no artist call it. I will not be doing any further interviews. That's it. That's it. Yeah, what you want this? Yeah, this is it until after Carnival. Remember, after Carnival, the real Carnival will start. You know, tell me that. Tell me what that be. The real Carnival will start after Carnival.
Yeah,
What's that?
Next week.
What is the real Carnival?
I don't know when they come.
The election Carnival. That's the
election. That's the Carnival.
What? That's the real Carnival, boy. The real Carnival will start after the Carnival. The election campaign will kick off.
People looking out for that.
What? Well, I will make them look out for it. I ready like Freddy Fred. I will make them look out for it. Remember, if you ain't do nothing else, make sure you're alive for after Carnival, because the election Carnival campaign will start as soon. I heard Major say on the radio one time, as soon as the next day, things will get better. Well, the next day, things is going to change, because the election campaign Carnival will start right here on Boom and on OMG. Prepare yourself for it. Remember this song here for me, the Skinny Fabulous and Fireman. I love you folks. We love you. Until then, until after Carnival. Hey, listen, Fugitive will be in to hold it down, y'all. Stay put. Don't you move. He got some big artists that he'll be bringing in the up close and personal. Up close and personal with you. No concert series. Fugitive will be bringing in some up close and personal artists to do up close and personal with him. Please stick around. He's just as good as me, yeah? Just try it, you'll see. He's just as good as me. If you don't believe me, just check him out, all right? Come on board. Listen up. Come on, people. All of you see all this, my fan for all of my fan, and I come on the live and I see all this, I cussing all this, and I don't hear nothing from none of you, all right? You know, I just kidding, but y'all, come on, stay with OMG Up Close and Personal with Fugitive as we continue tomorrow. I'll be back on the morning, maybe not the exact morning, but in the week following the end of Vincy Mass, when the Vincy election campaign mass will start. Until then, we gone.
If I feel like, when I feel like, I just drink until I drunk. When we party, we not normal, we just push into the ground. We just tear up in the country and the legal in the town. We make the place rumble, like when Sufe erupt. The whole place erupt. Like when Sufe erupt. The whole place erupt. Boom, we just sit up and we gone. Mash it up and we gone. We shell it down and we gone. Mash it up and we gone. Somebody say.
Attention, Wet Republicans. On Sunday, July 6th, do you want to be stush and cute? No problem. Enjoy the Wet Republic Dry Zone or VIP. Or do you want to get wild? Come and enjoy the Wet Zone with the hose and the water slide. Welcome to Wet Republic Chocolate Beach. This is a nude colors event, so ladies